Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Resident Evil, Episode 10, the Big 10. After a year of doing this, we're finally at 10, so I hope that we can continue throughout the year and keep doing this. It's been about a month since we did the last show. It's already almost April, so we're going to be talking about a couple things tonight. We don't know where this is going to go, but Richard, why don't you say hello?
Hello.
And we also have a guest, and this was definitely a surprise because we didn't know that we were going to have a guest. We didn't know when we were going to actually do the next the next show. But we have I don't mind if I call you JJ. We have JJ here. So why don't you
What's
say
up,
hello?
everybody? Hello, everybody. How's it going? I'm excited to be on this show. I've been listening to you guys, since you guys started, so I'm just excited to be on the show and talk about Resident Evil.
All right, yeah, that's what it's about. And now you're a part of something interesting. Why don't you talk about that? We can kind of segue into the core subject of what we're going to talk about right now.
Okay, yeah. I help run the Remake Resident Evil 2 fan page on Facebook. I've been a huge Resident Evil fan, since they came out, since I was a little kid. Resident Evil 2 has kind of always been my favorite, just because I think that's the Resident Evil I started with.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I
Awesome.
understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I started with that one, and I went on to the other ones and played through all them when I was a kid. But Resident Evil 2 just kind of had nostalgia to me. So when Capcom announced that there was a possibility of a remake, I was super pumped for it. I went on the internet, tried to help do whatever I could to make it happen. I signed the petition, and then I noticed there was the Remake Resident Evil 2 page on Facebook, and there was a different guy who ran it. I wasn't even part of it at the time. And I just thought his page was really cool, and it just got me excited about Resident Evil again. We're talking about, the older games from when I was a kid, and, my favorite games. So I made my own page just because I thought his page was really cool. And I messaged him and, said I was starting my own page. I really like what you're doing with the page. So I started my own, and he featured it on his page. This is kind of a long story, sorry, but I got a ton of likes, and as time went on, he decided he needed some help with the page, so I messaged him, and he made me an admin. So now, I help him run the Remake Resident Evil 2 fan page. If anybody here is listening that's from the page, you know me as Ro. That's short for Residents of Evil. That's my fan page I started, so yeah. That's kind of how I got to be on the page.
All right, yeah, that's cool. Awesome. So, you enjoy it, right? I mean, that must be pretty cool to, interact with people who, with the same interest with Resident Evil and stuff like that, and run.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's awesome because I love the game, for so long, and I'm in a small town. There's not a lot of people to talk to about it. So when I was part of the page, we have thousands of people on there that share the same interests. It was really cool. I met a lot of really cool people. I got to see a lot of really cool stuff. I just feel like now I'm part of something that I actually have a voice and a say, in a sense, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, definitely, you're going to have to send me the link after the show. I'll put it in the description. So, guys, if you're listening, click down below and check out the page. I still have to check it out, so definitely enjoy that, because anything that has more of a Resident Evil community, I'm sure most of you guys out there will enjoy. So it's going to be cool to see where everything goes, because there's a lot of people that are making their own fan pages for Resident Evil 2. A lot of people are, like you said, people like you who have nostalgia with and stuff, they're really dedicated to the idea of, getting a remake out there, because the Resident Evil 1 remake was so, memorable.
So good.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think it was the best made Resident Evil out of all of them. It was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Technically,
You could have did better with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the detail is outstanding. That game still holds up today. It still looks good.
Yeah.
If you take the original, which is regarded as one of the corniest games ever made,
Yeah.
And you compare that with the remake, like there is a huge contrast as well. Like not just in terms of like detail, but like in terms of story and atmosphere. Like they really went all out with that remake.
You know what I think is so good about it? You can play the Resident Evil remake and just love it. Play through the whole thing, it's great. And then you can go back and play the old corny first Resident Evil that came out, and it's still just as good. Like they're they're both great.
Mm-hmm.
The voice acting is just funny. That's the only
yeah.
thing that,
Like
that
how
people,
can you not love Barry?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like Barry is like, you know, like I said, I was at a convention about a month ago, and I found a Barry, and my friend, she was dressed up as Jill, so I was just like quoting Barry like lines, and he was saying about it was just so funny because it's like they're so memorable that even he knew all the lines that like I was trying to like, you know, remind him of and stuff like that. It's such like a memorable thing, just like Resident Evil in general, whether it's the original or remake. It's just like those characters started what was. Same with RE2. You know, you got Claire and Leon, and it just kind of like those two installments were like that was the start of what it is today. And I think that it's just something that people really hold close to their hearts as far as like if they're growing up with the games and they, you know, watched their, you know, their friends play it, or they find out about it, because even modern fans that get into it, you know, I think a lot of people appreciate it because it's still different between like all the first person shooter stuff that's going on, you know, because you could get into Resident Evil today and still enjoy it just as much as like we do. We've all been fans of the series for quite some time, but I think, you know, it takes some backtracking because, you know, the games are a little bit harder to get a hold of. But I think it's just like something that people really appreciate, you know, something like Metal Gear Solid as well, where that series is so in depth, and you know, it's like Metal Gear's fucking awesome, and it's just like, oh yeah, like the thing is I just love series like that, and I think that's why I love this community of Resident Evil fans, because it's just something that, like you said, like when you got involved with the Facebook page, it just seemed like it was your comfort zone. You're like, this is where I need to be right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, for sure.
You're taking something you love and you're like taking action to raise awareness.
Yeah, and
you know, the page is awesome because, you know, like I said, there's a lot of people that share the same interests, but at the same time, we're pushing for a remake. Like, the more people we get on the page, the louder we are, and the more we can kind of send a message. So we're really just trying to build it up so that, you know, we can be heard. Capcom, you know, they don't listen, I guess. Yeah, everybody kind of knows that. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
That's nothing new. Yeah.
They like to taunt and tease, but they don't usually follow up.
Yeah.
Now, like, tracing back, we should go back to the beginning of this whole RE2 stuff. This happened a couple years ago. I think the petition. Where was this petition? Like the very first. Because I don't even think I know this, but I'm sure you might.
I do. We have it actually linked on our page. It should be on there. I can't, because I like signed the petition like the day that it came up on, but I can't remember exactly where. I know we have a link though on our page for it.
Was that a couple years ago though? It was like,
yeah, that was about 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I remember when that started arising. A lot of people were bringing that to everybody's attention, like, oh, they're gonna there's a petition out there, you know, it could possibly happen. And I'm thinking, like, you know, at that point, you know, RE6 I don't think was out yet, but like I think Capcom was still very stubborn as far as listening to people and stuff like that. And I was just like, I remember hearing about it and just thinking to myself, I kept to myself. I never uploaded anything on my channel really about it, but I was just like, I'd be surprised if they listened to their fans. Like, I'd be really surprised if they saw that petition. And back then, it was small. I mean, it looks like there's much more people on board now than there ever was, because the I guess seeing RE6 and it not being as successful as it could have been as far as like a story game, you know, story involved game and stuff like that. I think they kind of want to just see something that they love being remade into something that could be really like amazing. I know that the petition, you know, I think that at the end of the day, people are gonna fucking vote on that thing. I mean, I'm sure it got a lot of votes, you know.
Yeah, we have over 30,000 people, which it's a lot for sure. But I kind of think that if Capcom would have followed up on what they said, and not just teased everybody like, oh, well, we'll remake game if they're, if you ask nicely. I think if they would have, talked more about it, they would have got a lot more attention. Our petition would have skyrocketed, but they kind of just said, that one thing and just kind of left it at that. Never followed up. Never. It
really all comes down to money. So from their perspective, they need to make a game. It's going to cost a lot of money to make that game, but they need to know that people will buy that game.
I think
they're probably looking at that and going, okay, well, 30,000 is a lot, but in order to
not near what they would need. Yeah,
like in order to finance a game, we need more signatures. Now, I do agree with you. They should have talked about it more, and that would have raised a lot more attention to everything. So it's if they had done more more advertising, more like, hey, here's an RE2 thing, go sign it, show us if you want it. And I think a lot of people would have signed it, but like you said, they didn't do anything about it. And now they're expecting you to make over 1 million, maybe 2 million, in the millions at least, million signatures, and that's very hard, and it's going to take a long time.
Yeah. It's very possible if they talked about it more. Anything you see in the news about Capcom talking about Resident Evil 2 will blow up. They rely too much, I guess, on us to make it happen, but they would get a lot more attention if they talked about it. When they talked about it, we blew up. That's where the page came from. That's where we got so many likes and so many people were looking for the remake, but they just never followed up. So we can't do this all by ourselves, and we need more attention on it, I guess.
More
they wouldn't even really need to advertise. Yeah, they wouldn't need to advertise. They just have to mention it, and there's so many people that want it. And I don't think it would be very expensive to make because the whole game is laid out. The story's laid out, the scenery's all laid out. All they would have to go through and do is, add a little bit more like they did with the remake, redo the graphics. It would cost money, but they need to also lower their expectations too. They can't, shoot for the next Call of Duty. This is a remake. There's a lot of people, and you'll make money. Just
the thing
don't
with
RE2
is RE2 is a bit of a small game as well. It's not very long, and fixed camera angles and all that. It would feel a little bit dated, but that's what we love about it. But like you said, all they need to do is it's a game that they would build up from the ground, restart, redo everything, but they already have a very detailed layout to work with. They would just be adding more things to it, kind of like what they did with Remake. So
and I really hope they if they were to do it, they better not do it behind the back, because I think that would really take away
I agree. If they are doing behind the back, at least give us the choice to do both. Both
that's what I'm saying. For more modern
back.
fans that might have played 4, 5, and 6, and they were just like, "Oh, what is this?" And then they check it out. You could do that, but
imagine leaving the truck, when you're playing as Leon at the very beginning. It's there's 3 or 4 zombies approaching you. If you're going behind the back, you're not going to see some of those zombies that are coming to you at the side or from the side.
Yeah.
You might get hit.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you guys off. I actually was doing a lot of thinking about this earlier. It was one of the main things I was thinking of what I want to talk about. I thought a lot, and I was like, to make everybody happy, do the option to go fix cameras or behind the back. And, you could do that in Resident Evil 5. They added that in, which was awesome. But the majority of the people, if you have the choice, they're going to go with behind the back. Now, if you go back and you play Resident Evil 2, the fans, a lot of the fans of the older series will play, but a lot will play behind the back, and I think that'll really take away from the experience. One of the biggest things about the old ones is you couldn't see everything that was coming in front of you, and so every time you went to the next camera angle, it was sort of a new scenery.
A lot of it was based off of audio effects, really.
You would just hear something.
If you change the angle and say, that's what I love about Resident Evil 1, for example. You're standing at the end of a hallway, and Remake, that one hallway where it's all dark. It's by the hallway where you go to get the ammo from, not the ammo, the tape.
Yeah.
From what's his face, the first zombie. You kill the first. Kenneth. Is that that's his name, right?
Yes, Kenneth. Yep,
Kenneth.
It was Kenneth.
So like you go into the first hallway, down that dark hallway where the piano room is very dark, and there's a zombie walking down, and like you don't even have to look at the zombie, you can just hear him going like moaning and stuff.
He's like,
it's very creepy.
You're just like, oh shit.
Builds up suspense.
Yeah, you just hear the feet shuffle. And you just especially the Crimson Heads. Oh my god.
Exactly. Exactly. Like you don't. Awesome. Sometimes you don't even notice a dead body, and they just
they just rise up. They make that creepy sound. You're just like, what the fuck? Like you're just like running the fuck out of there. You're just like,
later in the game, sometimes hunters will break through the windows.
Dude,
or they will like
jump scares. It wasn't actually. They had a lot of jump scares, and real horror isn't jump scares. It definitely helps, but the old games had real horror and jump scares, so they like had everything kind of in one. The dogs, oh my god, that was, and they did a lot of that in Resident Evil 2. So they kept the basic, that's why the first three were so popular, and how they got so famous was because stuff like that.
If people are to complain that Resident Evil just has jump scares, you can argue the fact that, it does use jump scares, but it also has a heavy reliance on atmosphere.
Yeah. That wouldn't work without that, it wouldn't.
Exactly.
Like, if you're walking through, let's say, a white hallway, there's no detail, no nothing, it's just a blank white hallway with some windows, and the dogs jump through the windows. Would that scare you? No. It probably wouldn't scare you, because
jump scare, you'd forget about it.
Yeah, you forget about it. It's like you might jump just because it's loud, but that's cheap, If you're walking down a detailed hallway and the lights are low and
there's
it's very
music and then
it's creepy looking, or maybe there is music but it's slowly rising, so it's and like a violin string, it just goes louder and louder the more you walk down the hallway. And then you get a jump scare, it's already done its job at creeping you out.
Yeah, and you know what, dude? I think the reason, and especially my dad, he remembers when that happened. Back then, in PS1 days, in 96, there was no music when that happened, but when they broke through, that's when you heard the creepy music. Back then, nobody would have thought that could happen in a game. Nobody.
Mm-mm. That was stuff for movies.
Yeah, exactly. People saw the opening and they're like, obviously it's cheesy to today's standards, right?
That was awesome at the time.
Yeah,
that was
exactly
amazing.
Yeah, and there was in-game dialogue and shit. There's text on the screen, but it's not just text. You get the audio, and then all of a sudden you see these dogs. You don't expect it. You're just like, okay, I get that there's zombies walking around, but dogs and then music. I think back then that's why when people say Resident Evil for PlayStation, that's the scene they think of first, because that was terrifying. You're in a mansion, you just lost comrades, okay, shit's getting real, and you're
trapped inside, you can't leave.
Yeah, you can't leave, there's dogs.
You have no idea what's going on. You're in this huge creepy mansion, okay, and that's why they had the perfect trifecta, and I probably could think of a million other things that made it perfect too, but they had the scenery, it was creepy, it was eerie, you had no idea what was going on. They had the jump scares, which added the scenery as part of the horror, and they had the music.
Yeah.
The music was so memorable, it was great, and it was creepy, and I can still listen to it this day, and just, I love it. It's not music, and normal people would listen to, but it's just so memorable that it's great.
I think it also had the best way to tell a story. I think in survival horror games, the best way to tell a story is you find notes and you slowly get the information revealed to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's this guy killed himself because he was infected, and he wishes his love to a girlfriend or whatever. That's tragic, but it's also very creepy because it's there's a dead body in the closet. It's probably a zombie. But it's just it's so cool seeing reading bits and pieces of what happened here, what happened in these rooms. What's the real
you get
mystery.
More there's a big story behind the game, but you're getting all these, other stories from the people that it makes it feel more alive. It gets you kind of into it more, even though there was the corny dialogue and everything. You still got really into it because you want to know what's going on. But you're seeing, you're reading firsthand what's happening to these people, and it actually, that one part where you're reading, and then all of a sudden you go to the closet and the zombie busts out. Like
Yeah.
kind of it helps the game because it's interacting with the game. The stuff you're reading, has something to do with it.
And they like did even more with the remake, for example, because they added more backstory that spanned to the 1960s with the whole Trevor family.
Yeah.
So it's just cool how they like you look at Resident Evil and you're like, I would never think that this leads back to the 1960s.
There's so much history that they just kind of left. That's
Like,
all unexplored territory that they could use.
Like most people would be like, "Oh, it's a zombie game." Like I'm like, "No, motherfucker! Like this started back generations ago."
Yeah, this is before zombies were so popular. Like, I mean, they were popular with the movies and stuff, but how they're huge now. Zombies are
Walking
everything.
Dead
Every
and
movie,
shit,
Yeah.
every movie has zombies. This is back then, when this wasn't as big, and it wasn't about the zombies or anything. It was a mystery. You didn't know what was going on, and there wasn't just zombies in it. Everything was scary, and everything wanted to kill you.
Yeah,
Giant animals and everything was just undead.
The POWs, yeah.
I love
hunters
that.
and
I love how some enemies were engineered and others were just undead.
Like those I call them chimeras. That's how I pronounce them. But those fucking things on the ceiling and shit, it's just you're just like, what the fuck is that? They kind of they lost a little bit of I guess stuff to go on, because I think what we were saying, how in the first one, especially with the enemies, it got really creepy, and then the second one they fucking heightened it more because it got more in depth with the monsters, because now it's in the city. You're in a really big, overwhelming, even more overwhelming state than the first one, because now you don't even know what's out there. There's a whole city full of these things, and you have no idea what's going on. And say the third one as well, it just carries over. And I think that everything that they did, it just really worked well. I think that those original games, especially the original trilogy, which is my personal favorites of games, is just those are they're just timeless, I think. And I think that's why people want to see remakes and people want to see this relived. Now, going back on the RE2 remake, I want to know what you guys were saying, how in the remake, they went back and they did something that we didn't see there before, or they did something very different. How do you think that if Capcom actually made a remake, okay, what do you think that they could do to really make it as effective as it was back then, with the atmosphere and
they would have to
add more things in it?
They would have to add more to the story and more areas, more enemies. But
the same thing they did with the remake.
The exact same thing. There's no need to do anything drastic.
Yeah,
just,
you can't change it, or it won't be the same anymore. It won't have the same feel. You can't add in the stuff they have now, because
it has
the stuff
to be
they have now, it's
almost
great
shot for shot.
That.
Shot for shot, but with
basically.
more stuff.
Add in stuff, but don't make it, what you were talking about, the enemies, and the reason why the games are so memorable, and it's always, you're into it, is because the enemies, it's an unbelievable game, but it was more believable then. I could get into the story and it wouldn't take me out. Now when I play, say 4, 5, and 6, you have an enemy that's 30, 40 feet tall, and it just takes me out. It's just what? Come on, you didn't grow this in a lab. What is this?
You can't grow this. You can't.
I know this is fake. This is fiction. I know, but you completely take me out of it when I see something like this.
I understand that. Yeah, I agree. I think it's with what they did, Resident Evil 2, with I think with Birkin and stuff like that, and the whole G virus aspect. I think they really started to see how to push people's buttons, because they saw how the reaction for the first one. They were like, all right, well let's make this even more of a broader range of enemies. You got the lickers, which we're talking about hearing things that you can't see. When you heard the licker crawling and you heard that weird
the breathing.
You're just when we were kids, we didn't want to play that part. It was horrible.
It's just
seeing it run across the window. What the hell is that? You go through the door and then you get that cutscene. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
It like
And
puts you on danger. You run into the next room. It's like,
you know what I hate?
I know I'm gonna have to run back through there.
They
And
are
you walk
assholes.
back.
Yeah, exactly.
They are assholes to put an herb right by the door. Fuck them for that, man, because
That's awesome.
the herb's there, and it's like, you want to grab it, right? But it's like, you don't want to waste your ammo, because you don't know how strong this thing is first time around, so you're just like, fuck, and then you get hit by it, and then now you're still trying to run from it, but you don't know if you want to stop and get the herb, because as you're going down to grab it, he can still, like, attack you.
Yeah,
That plays a big part in survival horror, because it's like, another example would be like later on when you fight the plant zombies.
Yeah.
It's like there are so many doors here, I could get so much stuff, but I know these things are going to kill me if I stay long enough. Like, I'm just not, like a new guy who's getting into the game, like, he's not going to know, like, the secrets of how to beat the plant zombies. They're just going to unload all their ammo into them. So it's like, how do I, like, there's a big learning curve to everything, and there's secrets to learn, and, discoveries, but, like, you gotta be smart with what you do. You can't just, like, hog everything. It's like, why can't I pick everything up? I only got 8 inventory slots,
It's, games, a lot of games now are really forgiving. You have your save states, you can go back to right where you left off. These games, and that's still popular. It's not dead. You got Dark Souls that came out, just Dark Souls 2. It kills you. You have to learn, so you have to go all the way back. And if you think about it, Resident Evil, the original ones were a lot like that. You're gonna die. You need to learn what not to do. You need to go in there and find the stuff you don't need, get killed, go back. Okay, I don't need that anymore. Get the important stuff, and that's why it was so addicting. Because it was so rewarding when you did, win.
You feel like this rush of adrenaline.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my god, like I just did that.
Yeah,
that rush of adrenaline makes you really get into the game, and they had a ton of that. They had all sorts of different things in that game, like the jump scares and the music and all that just got you really into the game, and it made it really rewarding when you did something right.
Oh yeah, that was the thing that kept me going, and I think it was really kind of like a learning process, and I think that's why so many people master the game, because it's just like, all right, like, I'm gonna do this better next time. I'm gonna, make this choice. Like, it's really cool because, like,
and the game is actually judging you on everything.
Yeah,
because you get the rank at the end.
Yeah,
it's like,
and that's why you go back and play it over and over and over, is because it's got a lot of replay value. Yeah, even if you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, and it's like I'm gonna watch how much healing you use. I'm gonna watch how you save and shit. It's like, god damn, this thing is like really strict. I got my first S rank in RE3. I think it was about 2 months ago, and I beat it in like an hour and like 53 minutes. I think, I don't know. I have the.
That's crazy. That's really good.
Yeah, I have a picture. Thanks. I have a picture on Twitter of it or whatever. But it was really surprising because like I didn't save at all, and I used like a bunch of like first aid sprays. But RE3 is like my favorite, and like when I finally did that, I was just like, all these years of playing, I am finally able to do this. And this is like, going all the way back to 99. It's like, man, like, this is great, I love it. And that's why I just get so excited to go back and play these games, because I know that, like, I can still fuck up and die, I've played Resident Evil 1 at my friend's house before. I brought over the game, and I was playing it, and like, I was just like, all right, like, I got this, it's fine. I was being all cocky about it, I didn't give a shit. And I was playing, and like, I actually died at like the most random. It was the first one, and I died at like the most random part that I didn't even know I was gonna die. I died at like the spider in the caves, and like that pissed me off because I'm like, it poisoned me, and then it killed me so much faster because I underestimated the health. And I was sitting there next to my friend, and like, I threw down a controller, and she was like, "What the hell just happened?" I was like, "I died by the fucking spider. I'm done." Like, I just turned off the game, and I was like, "God damn it!" Like.
Actually, what happened to me recently, I was replaying the first Resident Evil, and granted, I haven't played it in years, and I was like right at the beginning, the first couple zombies you see, and I was just kind of half-assing playing it, but I died like right away, and I was like, wow, how the fuck did I play this when I was a kid? And I was so good. Now I just suck ass at this game. I'm horrible, but I don't know. I played them a lot more then. I still play a lot now, but it's hard. It was I liked it. You know, it's cool. It reminded me of the first times I was playing it.
Yeah. I find like these games also have like more detail in things that you wouldn't even think of. So it's like the first time that I fought the spider, for example, I was like, okay, where do I go next? Where do I go next? The game just gave me a knife. I have no need for this knife. I haven't used it at all. Why did the game give me a knife? It's like, oh, you're supposed to cut the webs. Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, you cut the webs. Like, you don't usually, like, I don't know, like, little things like that. Like, usually, like, the door would just be there or something, or you would just, like, I don't know.
You would just run past the spider into the next room. Like, you would just dodge it. But they like, threw something... They threw something in your face, like, what do you do now?
You would probably think, okay, well, I can't go anywhere. Like, it's a dead end, because, like, there are webs all over the wall. But it's like, no, you can actually interact with those webs, and you can cut them.
It was a lot harder, though, when we used to play this, because we used to have to figure a lot of this stuff out by ourselves unless we had a strategy guide, and the internet wasn't nearly as accessible as it is now. So it was either by word of mouth, or figure it out yourself, or buy a strategy guide.
I had all the strategy guides because when my dad purchased the game, I used to watch him play them, and he would always have the guidebook right next to him, and that would help him through it, and I still have them to this day. And then I started to pick up on that as well and use that to help me. But then I would end up like getting a little bit too like antsy. I was just like, like I don't really feel like I just want to play the game, you know. I don't want to. But then you realize like, you know, you would be able to just kind of like, you know, because I think like maybe the first game didn't really have too much of like a complicated puzzles. I think maybe the third one had most like a little bit more unique puzzles.
That damn water sample. Yeah, you said it too. Yeah, that thing was a bitch. I hate that. I still can't figure that out.
Yeah, when I was doing my speed run, I fucked up like 3 times. I could have saved like 10 minutes on my speed run if I'd gotten that better, and I still did. I was just like, again, like you were saying, like years later, I'm still sucking at some parts. It just sucks. But something I did get down in the third one, the Clock Tower Nemesis, that motherfucker's mine every time. I get that motherfucker, and you know, I got it first time around. All you need is fucking freeze rounds and flame rounds, and you have to make enough freeze rounds, and you're good to go. I mean, it's it's pretty easy. A lot of people.
I'm glad you guys figured it out, because to this day I still have not beat the water sample by myself. When I was a kid and I was playing it, me and my cousin actually were trying to play it so much that we just passed out, and we woke up and his older brother was in the room, and he's like, "Hey, I solved this puzzle for you guys." And I was like, "How did you do it?" And he tried to explain it. It made absolutely no sense to me. And then I tried it like a couple of years ago, and I was just like, it still doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's like years later, this still isn't going to be put together correctly. I just don't get it. Yeah,
never ever did that by myself.
You know, it's funny. I look at my Let's Plays, right, and my Resident Evil 3 Let's Play, which I did, you know, almost 3 years ago this summer, and the most viewed video is the water sample, because that's the thumbnail. Yeah. So people because people look up the water sample.
How do I do this?
Yeah,
and I put on the first video.
Yeah, exactly.
Water sample.
I put in the description water sample, so like that wasn't intentional. I was just kind of like, all right, this is like part like
it's like basic
13.
Let's play description. We beat Nemesis. We solved the water puzzle. Whatever. It's like, okay, thumbnail, description. This video will teach me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People like, and then you'll just look back, because that probably has like maybe 3,000 or 4,000 views out of like everything else, and that Let's Play does have I think 1,000 views per video or something close to that. But back then it was like that was the first one that really gained attention. But it's cool though. I mean, I think the best way to play it, and what I was telling my friend when she was getting into it, I was saying like, try not to look online. Try not to look online and just try to play it old school, because that is the way to go. I mean, that's
we didn't have that.
Yeah, it's just like you can't really try to like describe like what it does. It's just like it's just part of the package, you know. Like you play Metal Gear Solid, right, for example, which is a big game. You know,
actually, I was going to talk about that earlier.
Yeah.
Those fucking boss fights.
Oh my!
In the first game, like, I did not want to look up a walkthrough. They took a long time, but once you beat them, you're like,
Yeah, you're just like, fuck yeah. Like, I know it was funny because back then, like, when people were having trouble because, you know, that game was like a big game back then. That was like the Mass Effect of today. That was like, you know, a really big game, you know, and people didn't like know how to contact, what was her name? Oh, fuck. It was like how to save or something like that. Who did you contact in that game?
It's like, you gotta contact my niece. Her codec is on the back of the CD case.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, they had a lot of stuff like that. You actually had to look and think, and that game isn't as memorable as Resident Evil, but that when I first played Resident Evil 2, my cousin's got a PlayStation, and the first two games was Resident Evil 2 and Metal Gear Solid.
Perfect games.
Yeah, every time I hear somebody's phone go off and they have that Metal Gear ringtone, I'm just like, oh my god, that is awesome. I need to have that. But, you know, I got an iPhone and I don't even know how to put that on. I
have an iPhone too. I recently got one, and that used to be my ringtone a while ago. And every time I got a text, it was the alert sound as well.
Yes.
That was one of mine.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd just be sitting there in, like, school, and that, like, goes off, and I'm just like, oh, well, fuck, sorry. Didn't know about that. But, no, it was, it's cool, though, because I think, like, that game, it broke down the wall. It's like, Snake, click the select button every time you hear a codec set. Like, that was really cool. Back then, people were just like, man, like, that's something else, you know? I mean, Kojima's fucking awesome. You know, he's the man, and, you know, I can't wait for Phantom Pain. Not to get too off topic, but, I mean, Ground Zeroes was good. Fuck the reviewers.
Because of you. Because I was listening to your podcast, I actually started listening to your Game Complainers page. Because of you, I really, really want to play Ground Zeroes. And the only Metal Gear I played when I was a kid was Solid. I haven't played any of the other ones. Granted, I played here and there, but since I've been hearing you talk about it so much, I really want to play that fucking game.
Oh yeah, dude, it's I've been playing the shit out of it. I actually just completed it 100%. I got all the trials done. I got all the trophies on PS4, and it's just like, man, that is...
How many hours did you put into that?
Oof.
Like, give me a guess, because according to that one review I saw,
you could beat it in 10 minutes.
10-minute game. You know, it's funny how we were talking about, like, how, like, oh, you can replay the Resident Evils until you get an S rank, just keep getting better and better, like, you know.
People were saying
and then, like, this guy in this review was like, don't tell me that you can get an S on these Ground Zeroes missions. That is not replay value. What matters is the length of the campaign. And that's only like an hour.
Oh my God.
Once you beat the campaign, there's nothing left to do. So don't even tell me that, like, you can get an S. Don't tell me that you can, like, get, like, extra missions because they have no depth. Like, but getting better ranks and replaying the game and, like, finding everything and exploring, that's all replay value. I'm not gonna beat Resident Evil 5. Like, I'm not gonna beat Resident Evil 5 and be like, well, I just unlocked Mercenaries, but since I played the campaign, there's nothing left.
I don't want to get the costumes and get all the action figures and all the cool shit that fans appreciate, I might say, because people like that reviewer, he's obviously a casual game.
I fucking hate people who say, like, achievements are pointless, but they complain about lack of replay value. You want replay value? Go for the achievements. Yeah, exactly. Like, get as much as you can out of your game.
I'm an achievement whore when it comes to something I really like, and I think achievements are awesome because, you know, you can argue, okay, they ruin the game or they help. I think if you really like the game, they only help because then you have other goals to go for and you're going to play it more.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to be, you know, when I was on 360, you know, for the last generation, I was on there for most of the time. And, you know, as PS3, I was never, like, big on trophies. Last of Us, I did almost complete fully, but it's also coming out on PS4, and I'm going to buy it again this summer, and I'm going to play it all the way through, complete everything, because that is my fucking game right there. And, you know, I'm telling you, shit like that, games like that, you know, going back and, like, playing New Game Plus, that's just like if the guy was like, well, Last of Us sucks because if you go back and play New Game Plus, it's not worth it. You know?
Gave Last of Us, like, a 10, and he said it was his favorite game of the generation. So I don't know. I don't know what goes through his head.
Well, look, honestly, though, with the whole hours, I don't know. I put in a lot of hours. I was playing that didn't leave my PS4 until, like, 2 weeks after it was out. Well, it's already been, I think it's been about 2 weeks now. Yeah, I just took it out of my PS4 the other day, because I got to beat Assassin's Creed 4. I have 2 more sequences to go. But that
you didn't beat Assassin's Creed yet.
Still,
I didn't play it, but I just remember you kept on your last podcast. You're like, I will have it beat the next time I put up a podcast.
Yeah, I hope. Well, I say a lot of things, and a lot of stuff comes up, but Metal Gear took me over. I was playing that and I didn't know. Like, I played Assassin's Creed that night before it came out, and I was like, all right, I'll get back to this. Like, I'm going to do it. And then that Tuesday, I came home, and I was like, Metal Gear, that's it. And that was, like, my straight run. And that's probably why I'm playing. Yeah, that's probably why the podcast took so long. Because I was just playing fucking Metal Gear. I didn't try to set up anything. But anyway, yeah, games like that, I mean, the replay value in Resident Evil, if we're going to talk about replay value, I think, like, it's really appreciated, and I think that if they were to make a remake of Resident Evil 2, I think that would be appreciated even more, because it's like, all right, well, first of all, you're giving us what we asked for.
I think smart people would appreciate it, but people like that reviewer,
fans,
that's
a lot of people are going
to.
Yeah, but the thing is that a lot of people are out there. A lot of people make up, like, the modern generation of players or whatever, and they're going to be like, this game sucks because I can't change the camera, this game sucks because it's too short, or because there's puzzles and I don't know what to do, this game sucks because it's, like there's no checkpoints, you know what I mean?
The only reason why you hear about that stuff more now, because I'm sure people were complaining back then too, it's just because it's so easy to go online and complain about it. It's, you just gotta appreciate it for what it is, and you'll have a good time.
You can just go to any YouTube video, and you'll just, like, have a laugh just reading all of the dumbest comments.
Me and Richard have a laugh looking at our videos. You'd be surprised how many people come around.
Okay, so, like, I got this really funny.
This is Resident Evil related, so go ahead.
So, like, on my top 5 Resident Evil games videos, okay, so 3 of the games are old games, okay? Resident Evil Remake, Resident Evil 1, and Resident Evil 3. And then the other 2 are 5 and 4, because I really love 5 and 4 as well. And the guy's like, thanks to people like you, the series is a nasty and stinky shit. Like, the majority of my games are, like, classic.
Good job, Richard. You really fucked everything up on that one.
Yeah, it's like, I told this to Anthony. He's like, people like you, Richard. People like you are the reason why that's like saying Sam Raimi is the reason why Spider-Man is a nasty and stinky shit. The dancing scenes.
The dancing scene that takes place 3% of the film makes the rest of the film terrible.
3 minutes out of 140 minutes.
I've had conversations about that movie recently because I heard you guys talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we like 3, but we just think the reason why people complain too much about little things like that take up 3% of, like...
I can understand, like, okay, you don't like 3 because, like, it's got a lot of stuff going on. But if you're going to be like, oh, I don't like Peter's hair, so I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 10. You know, I don't like the dancing, so
3,
like, you know.
3 had a lot going on, but it still used all the things that made the series so memorable. Like, it still used the same locations. You got that creepy ass Raccoon City with them just groans in the background, and it's just it sounds dead. There's nothing else. You just hear things in the background. It's creepy as hell, and it's got the jump scares, and it's just added. It's like what Resident Evil 2 did. It added a ton of good features. It used the same concept. That's what 3 did.
I think that, like, people are going to really, like, at the end of the day, I think when you really look at where we are now, okay, because, like, this is something that, like, is important to bring up. Capcom doesn't have any money right now. They really don't.
No,
they didn't
don't.
even have enough money to port one of the Street Fighters over to another console, and
they used it on Resident Evil 4.
It really puts the series, in a really just difficult spot, because they can either have somebody buy it off them for a certain price, or they can, do a remake and make some money off it. But the whole idea is that they don't have enough money to fund the remake. I think that's let alone a new installment.
Look,
But here's the thing: if they do, like, if they come out later this year and they're saying, all right, new Resident Evil or just whatever the fuck, let's just say it's a new.
Yeah, they're doing 7. They had on their page that you could send your memory and get a chance to be in the game. So they're for sure doing it, which is good. I mean, they're still making Resident Evil even though they're poor shit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's good. That's great. I'm happy.
Yeah, and the thing is though, like, and like I said, I think that if they were saying, because I remember the article came out, I think it was like in the summer, it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna make, we saw how fans saw that 6 was, too much was going on, and it was a bloated kind of storyline, and
that's why it's not memorable.
That's why it's not memorable. And they're saying they're going to return to survival horror, and a lot of people were just like, well, you said that before, and that's true. I mean, it's hard to trust them. It's hard to trust them when they said that, and we got the exact opposite with 4.
When 6 first came out, it was advertised as a survival horror game as well. Like that first trailer with Leon. Yeah, no hope left. And like you got like all these tunnels, like with Leon walking through them, like all dark and creepy, and the college.
Survival horror, my ass.
Yeah.
I could go through that entire game just kicking, and I'd be fine.
Just use the knife.
Yeah, right?
No need for weapons, just melee attack. Oh, that was horror. So overpowered, it was terrible.
It was so just kind of like a kick in the face out of nowhere, because like, people were expecting something. And look, I liked 5, okay? I always say this on the show. I enjoyed 5. It was just like
you guys do talk about it. 5 was great. Like, because I consider, I don't even put the new trilogy with the old trilogy. I just kind of take it as its own thing.
Yeah.
And 4, okay, I got that when it came out. It was amazing. It was so much fun, and there is a lot of negative I have to say about it, but there's also a ton of positive. And the upgrading system and the scenery, it was great. And that's what they did in 5. But you could have a friend, which people will say, yes, that definitely takes out the survival horror because you're working with somebody, but it was just such an addicting game. You're constantly managing your items with the other person. It was a lot of fun. It's regarded as my favorite Xbox 360 game. And like I said, I definitely keep new Resident Evils apart from the old Resident Evils, because if I start comparing, I'm going to completely talk so much shit about the new ones. But as their own, 4 and 5, great. 6, God. I still played through it and I had fun, but it wasn't near as fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I always look at 5 as a survival action game because it has many of the mechanics that 4 did, but the genre did change. And that wasn't necessarily a bad thing because it ended, to me at least, it ended the series on a story level because you killed Wesker. He was the last Umbrella leader. He was the last guy. Yeah. You killed Marcus, you killed Spencer, you killed Birkin.
You had to punch a boulder to kill him.
You had to punch a boulder, but you killed him.
Yes, if you can punch a boulder, you have a good chance against Wesker.
That's another thing. Like, you know how we were talking about, like, people hate Spider-Man 3 because of the hair or the dancing. It's like people hate RE5. Like, they'll use this as valid criticism because, like...
he punched a boulder.
Like, they're fucking, like, they will think that this is actually, like, good in an argument. They'll be like, Resident Evil 5 sucks because Chris punched a boulder.
He looks like he's on steroids.
But, like, there's
punched a boulder,
there's giant monsters in the series. Like, there's, like, all, like, hidden laboratories and, like, puzzles in these mansions and shit. And you're going to complain about him punching a boulder? That's what... kind of sticks out to you.
That's what dropped it down to a 3 out of 10? That's what dropped it down?
Yeah, you can't. It's a funny joke, but you can't use that as an excuse to say it's a bad game because, I mean, if you go back to Resident Evil 1, you could say that's a bad game because of the corny dialogue. No, it's not. Like, it's still a good game. He punches a boulder, Barry tells Jill she was almost a Jill sandwich. Like,
No, that's a perfect comparison, dude. Seriously, that's great because it's just like, you can't... People just don't know what they're saying. Like, I just think people just love, like you said, the internet, people love to complain. And I think that's where you're going to find a bunch of people venting because they just have nothing better to do.
So, like, the new Ninja Turtles trailer just came out the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first comment...
So do we,
The first fucking comment...
It's fun to complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to complain, but, like... as long as it's
if
if there's a reason.
constructive criticism,
like if there's a reason and if it's valid.
Yes.
But like, so like the other day the Ninja Turtles trailer came out, right? First comment I read, Michael Bay, you destroyed my childhood.
All right. Well, you knew he was going to get so much hate after that first thing went through with turtles being aliens. You knew that was going to happen. It doesn't matter how awesome the movie is now. If it's amazing, there's going to be so much hate. You can't prevent that.
This trailer is a minute, okay? Like a minute and a half. And there's people saying this movie isn't going to be good because I found like so many cliches in this trailer. For example, the trailer fades to black.
Oh.
There's an Inception sound effect. So
yeah, that's when I turned it off. Is when it faded to black. I was like, I'm done fucking watching this.
Like,
I can't believe they did that.
This trailer has cliches in it. Like, not even the movie. He was complaining about the way the trailer was edited. It's like, yeah, this movie's going to be, like, so, like, unoriginal, and, like, Michael Bay, you destroyed my childhood, and, like, people are agreeing with him. You're all idiots. You're all idiots.
That's like if I said Resident Evil 6 destroyed my childhood because it just destroyed 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It's like they're still there on my shelf.
I'm looking at my shelf. They're right there.
They're not burning. They're not fucking being tossed away in a fucking lake.
Resident Evil 6 comes out, like, my fucking shelf explodes.
You take it home, you put it inside, like, your console, and
like,
it's
oh god,
fucking, like...
October 2nd, please don't come.
Yeah.
No. And then, like, midnight comes, it's like, no!
Earthquakes happen, your shit falls off, like, it just cracks.
The entire city just, like, splits in half, and every single copy...
Damn you, Capcom.
Every single copy of those, like, old Resident Evil games are raining down from the sky
Why didn't you just remake
into
Resident
a
Evil
crater.
2?
Into, like, this gigantic crater in the middle of the broken city.
You should have just remade RE2, you bastards!
You destroyed everything!
Oh, God.
That's what I love about, like, what everything, like, how everything is in this series. It's like, you can just talk about whatever the fuck, and it's just funny. I think, like, there's just a lot of good and there's bad fans out there, fans that just, like, they're gonna hold the older ones close to the hearts and just not say anything, like,
I had one guy who, like, complained on the same video, top 5 Resident Evil games, because that video's getting out there a little bit, and he was saying people who like RE4, 5, and 6 are fucking stupid. You know, those games aren't scary, and
we're
like
all dumb, so
he's like, you know, like if you thought the regenerators were creepy, you're a coward. And
no, they were creepy.
And then, like, he actually, like, hated on other people. It's like, one guy was like, yeah, RE4 is my favorite because I grew up with that game. I'm like, okay, I can definitely understand that, you know? People grow up with different... Even if you grew up with fucking, Resident Evil Survivor, okay, like...
You have to respect that, because that's what they're like. Yeah.
You gotta respect that, because...
I actually played that whole game when my friend had it, and he's like, you want to buy some PlayStation games? And I seen that, and I was like, I want that one. And I bought it, and I went home, and I was like, this is garbage. And then I was like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna play it. And okay, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I liked it at the time. I was also really young though, so I don't know. I knew it was bad. It was really bad, but I actually played it.
Oh no,
I love Umbrella Chronicles. I don't care what anyone says. I love that game because of the fact that, like, I have a lot of good memories with that game. I remember, like, playing that back in, like, 2008, like, November, like, during the winter season, and I was just getting into Resident Evil. I had a Wii at the time. I got a new Wii, but, like, that was when I first bought the old Wii, and it was just a fun game, and I played it with my friends and stuff, and then you get, like, idiots on the internet going...
It was a lot of fun.
It's like, oh, it's not Resident Evil. It's a first-person shooter. It's a light gun game. It's not Resident Evil.
It's like an arcade game. That's what's cool.
It's fun.
It's Resident Evil, and it has all the scenery and everything,
it's
but it's like you're
to
playing an arcade game. It's a different game. Yeah, just like, here, this isn't going to, like, make us not make a new one. Like, this is just a side one that's, it's got all the, 1, 2, and 3 in it. It's a lot of fun. It's an arcade shooter.
Yeah, and, RE Survivor, I remember when that came out, and my I remember my dad got that too, and like he didn't back then. He didn't like first person shooters because, kind of like that perspective because he used to play Doom back in the day, and it used to like make him like kind of like nauseous, like he couldn't do it. Nowadays he can play like Call of Duty and be fine. So he kind of never really played Survivor. I played Survivor, and I just thought it was like the hardest thing because you just couldn't save, and it was just like annoying. And then I remember the first time I beat it, I used Game Shark, so I didn't fucking die. Like, I just had infinite, health and shit like that. And, like I said, stuff like that on the side. And the thing is, we were supposed to get the light gun over here, too. We're supposed to.
That never happened.
That never happened.
Of the shootings and all that. It's supposed to be better with the light gun.
Yeah,
you don't play Resident Evil. You might go shoot up your school.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason. Because RE Survivor is killing people. And the thing is, like,
they'll blame it on it too. Like if there was a school shooting and they seen that he had Resident Evil with the gun, they'd be like, yeah, that's the reason.
I think it was like one of the school shootings, like the guy liked Doom or whatever, and they were like, oh, this must be
the same one. Yeah, it was.
This must be like the fault of Doom, the video game.
The guy who did the Sandy Hook shootings, he liked Mass Effect on Facebook, and they started playing Mass Effect. And I was like, are you...
Mass Effect's not even, like, a shooter. Like, it's
Commander
a shooter,
Shepard killed kids? What the fuck? Like,
this in-depth, hugely story-driven game, amazing science fiction universe, fuck it. It caused a shooting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people are just dumb about that. But I think, like, I think Survivor, it just was like, it didn't really... I don't know. It was just kind of like probably something they worked because everything's RE2 in that game. I don't know if you realize that the sound effects and like the zombies are literally from Resident Evil 2.
Oh yeah, I remember the zombies were. Now that I think about it, I haven't played it in years, but
Mr. X is the same. The only thing that's different is like the new Tyrant at the end. They had like something they kind of like threw different colors on it. It was like, here you go, here's your Tyrant.
They put a little cover over his heart.
Yeah, it's like there you go. Put it there. And that was it. But I mean...
Give him a little hat.
Yeah, give him a hat, give him some sunglasses.
Give him a
Wesker.
cane.
Yeah. It's just Wesker is evil twin somehow, yeah.
Alex Wesker is Hunk.
Yeah, Alex Wesker is Hunk, by the way, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
That's old news, guys.
Who was I forget, somebody, I don't even know if they still listen to the show, but somebody out there kept asking about that. I don't know who it was. It was somebody.
People ask me questions like that all the time, too.
I think it's common in the Resident Evil community.
I once had a debate with someone who was convinced that Hunk was Alex Wesker because he worked for Umbrella. That was his main reason. It's like, well, he works for Umbrella, so he's Alex Wesker. I'm like, no.
So you could say any Umbrella soldier is Alex Wesker.
You could be like, Albert Wesker is Alex Wesker. Because he works for Umbrella,
He works for Umbrella, so he's just tricking us. Like, there's somebody else that's,
But they'll try to convince you, like, this is some kind of conspiracy that Capcom is planning. It's like, oh no, they're going to reveal him. Capcom is probably never going to include Hunk in another game.
Probably not.
At least not into, like, a story-driven game. Like, they might include him as, like, a bonus character in some, like, mercenaries thing or whatever. But you're never going to see Hunk again.
Yeah, if they did a remake, if they did the fourth Survivor again, that would be cool.
Oh,
the last Survivor, whatever the hell that is, that like mini game,
Tofu.
That would be cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you got Tofu too. Like that's really cool.
Tofu would be awesome if it came back.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like next gen, you're seeing a big
just like imagine it with like PS4 graphics.
Yeah, that Tofu has so much detail.
Yeah, right? It's just a big fucking block just running
around. A white cube. Oh my god, the shading on that is amazing.
Oh my god, the detail.
Yeah. I think it would be really cool. I think if we're talking about characters that are underappreciated, I think Barry should have fit into this trilogy. Just because he was kind of like, if you think about the original Resident Evil, he was really the action star in the game, with his 44 mag and his dialogue. Like, I don't know, I think he would have fit perfectly into the action Resident Evils. And he actually was supposed to be Sheva, from what I read. And they ended up switching it to Sheva. I'm not exactly sure why, because she's a girl and it gets a little more attention, but he was supposed to be her.
Her ass is bigger, so there you go.
Yeah,
she's got boobs.
Once you got tits and ass in a Capcom game, it's going to attract attention, especially.
And then they can add like those costumes with the tribal costume.
Oh, dude, the tribal costume is just like, are you kidding me? Like, they seriously just went all out. They're like, all right, here's her ass, and cleavage
Here's
out
her
the
boobs.
ass, you know, and you know, then you got Jill's battle suit, which is like tight for like the like they could have made a different suit. Come on, they could have made something different. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying, you know,
on a
because
practical level, that's like a tight leather suit in Africa seems kind
Doesn't
of
make sense to
obnoxious.
me. It doesn't add up.
Makes sense.
It takes me out of the experience.
No, 3 stars out of 10. Can't do it. Nope. Just because of that, it just doesn't make sense.
Well,
And
there
Jill's
were people complaining that Jill's hair was blonde, so like the game was horrible, or something like that.
Oh yeah, they shouldn't have did that. Just kidding.
well,
That ruined the whole thing. I'm really sarcastic, guys.
They
by
gave
the way.
her
I
a
don't know
blonde
if you noticed.
ponytail. This game is a 0 out of 10.
Wait, she has blonde hair? I'm taking my game out right now and throwing it out the window.
Remember the guy who like commented about Gears Judgment? He's like, "This game is horrible. I'm returning it back to EB Games."
Oh yeah, he was like, I'm returning it back to EB Games right now. I was just like, what the fuck? So you're like texting this comment as you're just like going. I was just like, what?
Dude, he must have been
Like,
really
he's
upset
on
with
the
that
bus.
game.
Yeah, right. To like complain about it and go to the store and return it like at that same time. Like, wow. And the thing is,
Like-
I think, you know, people. I mean, because RE5 was more just like, all right, well, you know. The whole idea with bringing Jill back is she was captured, okay, and she was like she was weak, like she looked pale, and her hair was like. There's a reason they didn't just do it just to fuck with fans, like they're out to make people mad. Like what the hell? I mean, Jesus
They
Christ.
gave a reason for everything.
Yeah, like
basically.
yeah, exactly. And
They-
They did.
probably-
They got a little out there, but they
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 probably
explained
wanted-
things.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they probably wanted to just give her a new look because it was like a next gen game or
yeah,
whatever.
plus she's older,
But-
and plus in the
but they-
BSAA she looks awesome.
They do like, well, for like a fucking 35-year-old, yeah, she looks pretty awesome. But
Yeah.
you know, it's
You
like
want-
there's a reason
you
for her.
want to-
blonde.
You want to bum her?
Oh yeah. Would you bum her?
I remember. Yeah, I
It-
actually have no idea what that meant, but
If you're still listening to this, I forget who asked that question. That was funny. I remember that night I was at Perry's recording that. It was in the summer, and once I said that, Richard just started. He lost it, dude. He was just like he couldn't even breathe out the other. I was listening to that again, and that was so funny. But yeah, no, I mean Jill BSAA, she looks awesome too because that's like more reminiscent because you know it's kind of fitting her
Yeah.
like blue theme because she
Yeah.
always has blue on it. And
I
shit
love
like
it
that.
because she's got like, you know, like everything is practical. She's got her gear,
Yeah.
and she's
makes
got like,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like it's tight clothing, but it's not tight as in like a fucking like unitard.
Well, they
It's
made her
like-
ask. They
What was
made
that
her
one
ask
girl's
pretty
name from
noticeable.
Revelations that had the tight
Oh
clothes
my
on with her?
God.
I can't.
She was, like,
I didn't really
missing-
play that game too much.
She was missing half her pants. Like they gave her
Yeah.
like they gave one leg pants, and then the other leg was just bare. It's like this is a deep sea diving mission. Like wouldn't you freeze to death?
I see that and it takes me out of the game. I'm just like, come on, guys, this doesn't make any sense.
I'll tell you what took me. The fucking guy with the red hair, Raymond or whatever.
Yeah.
That,
Oh, yeah.
that took me out because like that hairstyle is so like animated.
Conan,
yeah.
I
Put him in the game.
Yeah, and Jill's suit in Revelations was like a tight, like you know, it's just like ass worthy of like.
I like
you know,
I like that suit because it reminds me of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
like they wear, you know, those tight suits in Metal Gear Solid, but like they're sneaking suits.
Yeah, they're for a reason. Yeah,
They serve the mission well. I'm like, okay, I can kind of buy this in Revelations, and in 5 not so much, but I'm not going to be like, hey, 3 out of 10 because she does backflips.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
get why
things-
Jill acts like a cat when she's in the battle suit. 3 stars.
There's things that they could kind of like go out of story with, and I'm okay with. But when certain things like that, it just, I don't know, it takes me out of the game, and it's just not like it doesn't get me into them like the older ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing that really turned me off in the 6th one was the censorship. It was really bad. I mean,
was
zombies
like-
are eating your insides, and then like you're perfectly preserved. Like your clothes just are fine. It's eating your guts, right? But oh no, it turns to the camera, and you look behind them, and it's like Helena's fine.
They drag it out though. It's like every fucking time on what's that one map called? Urban Chaos or whatever?
Urban Chaos, yeah.
It's like the fucking Chinese zombie will kill me. And he'll like be eating my guts. He'll have no lip animation. The guts themselves won't really like look good. They'll just be like flat. No detail, just like
and
dark.
The body, there's
dark
no
red.
detail on the body. Nothing gets taken away from the body.
Yeah, it's just like my shirt. Nothing happened. Maybe like a blood splotch, but like really, like, and then it just zooms in on the face. Like the face is just like munching, and the lips aren't even moving. It's like
it's
like
really bad. Yeah.
It's like why won't you just let me continue?
And that's a shame. The game looks amazing, especially on PC. Oh my god! But they don't do anything. Same with with the chainsaw deaths. Nothing happens. Nothing. And or with the axe death, like you get stabbed, but it's just like blood just kind of pours down, and that's it. It's just like, are you kidding me? The Usanok, he like kills you with the the big like fucking thing that he has or whatever. The drill.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing in your body. Like he throws you back down, nothing. And I'm just like, Capcom, like, why are you doing it like Japan?
Don't do
Japan,
that. Yeah.
They have everything censored. I have Biohazard 4 on my JTAG Xbox, right? I was playing that. Yeah. Everything censored. You get a headshot, the head stays on, but you just kind of hear that like popping sound and blood come out. You know? And then the chainsaw death, he just kind of cuts your neck and Leon falls down. And I'm just thinking, why are you bringing that here? The whole point was
this is where it's perfect to just have it be as gory as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the kind of game for it.
I wonder how Dead Space...
All right.
Okay. I wonder how Dead Space would like play out in Japan.
Honestly, like I don't even know if they censored it.
How would they be able to censor that?
I don't think they did.
They probably just like have this blank screen with white writing. It's like, you are dead. Continue.
right when his limbs get cut off, you don't even see it. There's like a white box, just like nope.
Or like it's like a black screen. You hear it.
Yeah,
it's like,
it just cuts
continue.
to black. You're just like, wait, what happened? Oh, I died. Oh, they can't show that. No, I think they I don't know. Maybe it's just the company. Because think about it. I mean,
they probably like don't want to
that was an American
spend the money on like doing gore because they know they're not going to like be able to show it in their country. But like if they do it in they could do it here, but like
maybe it's the rating system over there. Maybe
some group of fucking like douchebags. They were like, we must not have decapitations in Japan.
Yeah,
why? I don't know.
How that works. But I think like more games must like show. Yeah, but they could show like shit in fucking. I'm trying to think of other Japanese games that are strictly Japanese based. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's some pretty intense shit in Metal Gear. I could think of
nothing. In Ground Zeroes.
No. Like in general, like Metal Gear in general.
Okay. Nothing really gory though.
Yeah, nothing too gory, but like, I could see stuff that they could easily be like, well, we're not going to put that in there. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to think of more Japanese-based games. Let me think. I don't even know. Well, what about like Left 4 Dead? How is that over there? That's not Japanese, but it's like
they probably censor a lot because I know like in Australia they take out like all the blood and stuff.
Australia, like there's so many banned games. Like Saints Row 4 was banned, but Saints Row 3 wasn't. So you wonder why piracy was like so fucking like huge because people can't get a hold of these games.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous. But I think that like if they were to make a 7, please don't censor it. I mean like I just don't understand. I mean like we're not saying the game's censored because it isn't, but it's like it's censored. It's like passively censoring it without like really pretty much flat out saying, "Oh, we're censoring the game." I just don't. It's just like it's tacky. It looks bad when you don't
have to at all.
Like it's like you when you film an R-rated movie and you strip everything good from it to make it PG-13.
Yeah, Die Hard 4.
Mm-hmm.
It looks.
Like, oh god, yes.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Watched the original Die Hard and I watch a ton of movies and I've never seen it. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, you got to watch it." So I watched the first one. Holy
Great
crap,
one.
that was a really good movie.
One of my favorite
I don't know what
movies.
happened.
Oh yeah.
What did they do? Like It's just because, with movies in Hollywood, they like to do a lot of CGI, and it's more CGI than story now. And you could take a movie that was filmed in, an entire building and make something out of it, and now you got things going everywhere. Kind of like Resident Evil.
Yeah, exactly.
You got
taking
original Resident Evil. Put it in one place,
well,
perfect.
I love
you got
the
it all
first...
over, it's a mess.
I love the first 4 Die Hard movies. Like, even Live Free or Die Hard, yeah, it was PG-13, but, like, it was my first Die Hard movie. I saw it in the drive-in years ago. So I was like, okay, like, I have, like, nostalgia.
Me too, actually. That was
so
the first
like,
one I seen, too, is Live Free, Die Hard.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I really like this movie because I saw it at a young age in the drive-in. It was fun sitting in the car and watching it, and then, like, years later, I can fully appreciate and understand. Like, I have the box set on Blu-ray. It's like, these movies are fucking amazing. But the 5th movie, that's where I draw the line, because I fucking hate the 5th movie. Nothing like Die Hard.
I agree. I used to watch the first one when I was like 3 years old on VHS. I just watch it over and over again. I loved fucking John McClane, and that was the first one I saw, the very first one. And like, yeah, shit like that. Like when he just like kills Takagi and this fucking like the blood just
yeah.
It's just like, holy shit. He's just like, and you see the blood just splatter on John's face.
Every time someone gets shot in that movie, like you see blood. And when John has to step over the glass and like he leaves like a huge trail of blood, it's like you don't get that anymore. And then like other times the rating system just like it boggles my mind because over there they gave Conjuring an R, but over here they gave it like 14A. So it's like
over here they give it an R.
Yeah, but like where I live. Fucking kids can go see that movie because like there's no like blood or anything.
Huh? Yeah, it's kind of how it works. You know, like I think like rated M games, for example, like Resident Evil 6 compared to like Gears of War, they never censor shit. Like they can't. I wonder if Gears of War in Japan, do they censor the chainsawing, or is it?
You know how like there's an option to just turn off blood.
Yeah.
And gore, they probably do that. Like you'll probably go to chainsaw someone, and when he falls over, it's still like one body.
Wait, get this. Okay. How do you censor Dead Rising? There's no way you can censor that. They have to let that go.
I'm trying to think of what death scene are you thinking about?
Well, just look at all the past 3 Dead Risings. I mean, like, there's no way.
I don't know. Like they seem pretty like tame to me.
I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, you kill zombies in so many fucked up ways that, like, why would you not censor that?
Yeah.
Not censor RE6?
Maybe because there's not a lot of people dying in Dead Rising. Like, it doesn't show too gory deaths. From what I remember, I haven't played it in forever.
You just kind of died. Like, if you were to die, you kind of fall down. And
you can dismember zombies. Like, you can, like, get a katana and just cut them in half.
That's what I'm saying. But then why in RE4 do they censor the Ganados? Like, you can't... Because
it's, like, decapitation, I guess.
I don't know. I think they should just put that option in to turn it off for people that can't have it in their country.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, with RE6, that was just kind of, like, that kind of just turned me off to it. I suppose that and, obviously, like, the bloated story.
There was a lot of things that just turned me off to it. I don't remember much from it. Like I said, it's not very memorable. You were always in different scenery. There was no catchy music. It was constantly moving and moving.
You had to replay parts from other campaigns. Like,
that was annoying. But there is one thing I do remember about it, and I was sitting there thinking about it, and not a lot stands out. And I remembered, I was like,
Simmons.
Was there a fucking T-Rex in Resident Evil 6?
Yeah.
I swear to God, there was a T-Rex in Resident Evil 6. Oh, I looked up.
Simmons.
There was a fucking T-Rex in my fucking Resident Evil game. Come on now.
The fight was like 3 hours long. What the fuck?
You fight
that was so stupid.
You fight him as a dog. You fight him as a T-Rex.
So me and Richard weren't the only ones.
Capcom, if you want to do dinosaurs, make me another fucking Dino Crisis. I'll be happy with that.
Don't
do what you did with 3.
Awesome. Yeah, forget 3. Do a reboot of Dino Crisis. Yeah, but so you're not the only one. Simmons was so... We talked about this in our RE6 discussion back when the game came out.
Yeah.
Why was it so long? And then when you're Ada, you have to do it again. And I'm just like...
Oh, that was annoying.
If I do a Let's Play on RE6, I'm fast-forwarding that part. Like, you're going to be watching it, and you're going to be, like, seeing just the video speed up.
Yeah.
Because it's like a 40-fucking-minute fight of a fucking, like, fighting a dinosaur.
I shit you not. This was, like, I think that November, after it came out, right? I was going for the emblems or whatever they were. Like, you had to find them or shoot them or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Right?
Serpent emblems.
I missed one, right? At the very end. So I did that fight thinking that I was going to get it. I didn't get it. It was my last one I needed to get the achievement. I had to go back and do that fight all over again. And I seriously just wanted to jump out a window. I was like, motherfucker. Like, this is so boring. Like, I turned on my music. Like, I was just like, I was literally just, it was just like something else. I was just like, I'm not even going to listen to what they're saying. I don't want to see the fucking, and then he does those stupid flips, and then you gotta like, you gotta fucking like position yourself, and then you see Leon down there, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this is so boring.
That's where they try to put the multiplayer in it, though, so you could play that with all your friends.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was bad. I was enjoying her campaign up until I had to start replaying events, and I was just like, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I feel like the overshadow, and you know, me and Richard. I don't know if you ever seen the video on my channel, but the one that we did, it was way back. It was when the demo came out, and we got it early, and me and Richard got it. We did a video right away that night, and we talked about it, and I remember one of us just saying, like, I think it was me, I was like, how are they going to manage to do this? Like, all the campaigns. Yeah. Because I was like, I like the demo, and I like what they're kind of giving us, but, like, how are they going to really do this? And it just kind of seems strange, because as we get older, we just get more, I guess, bitter, and I think RE6 just, like, it was just kind of like, okay, it's decent, standing alone, but it's not, like, what the hell?
There was a lot of stuff to do.
You gotta think of it separately, yeah.
Like RE6 was a fun action game. There was a lot of problems with it, but it kept me busy for a month.
Mercenaries was fun. Yeah. Mercenaries is always fun.
I put a lot of hours into that game just because, like, you know, we there was a lot of stuff to do, get all the achievements, and just play Mercenaries with your friends.
And me and Richard have records of videos of us, like, the funniest shit happening, like with the random explosion.
On my channel, if you go back on my channel, like, there's like 6 mercenary videos, and one of them I was playing as Ada in the Chinese dress, and I think you were playing as Helena.
Yeah,
and you're like, I like chicks with hats, or something like that. It's like, and then like we both go down at the same time, which I don't think is even possible anymore.
Yeah,
because they probably patched it or whatever. But like, it's like, how are we both dying? You know, like, shouldn't one of us be able to like, we can't revive each other, so it's like...
And you just hear me in the background, I'm just like, get the fuck up, get the fuck up.
I'm like, I can't, dude, I'm down as well. Get me up!
Yeah. I'm crawling towards you, man, I can't go any faster.
Yeah, you're waiting for that meter to get across the screen, you're just like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, shit like that was always fun, but I think, like, other than that, it was just kind of like, it just fell short, and I think, like, now, you know, what people are expecting with, you know, Resident Evil 7 or even a remake, which they're obviously just going to do 7, but I think that, you know, with the remake and stuff like that, the problem here is that, you know, looking at how things are right now in, you know, March of, you know, of this year, you know, almost April, tomorrow will be April, it's like, I think that people really need to realize that Remake, in their eyes, was a failure as far as sales. And I don't think... Now, this is their eyes because, you know, this is eyes from a business standpoint.
Oh, okay, we're going through the eyes of Capcom, okay.
The eyes of Capcom, yeah. They were saying that, you know...
It was a critical success.
It was a critical success, but
a commercial failure.
Commercial failure, and that's what led for them to change it going forward.
It's because they put it on the fucking GameCube.
Exactly. They put it on the fucking GameCube, and I'm telling you right now, it's fine as it is, but I just don't think that they're going to make a remake. There's another reason that backs my thing up, where it's like, as much as I would like to see RE2 remake, and it would be fucking amazing, but that's another reason why, especially with the money problem they're having now.
Yeah,
that would be the last thing they would have on their list. Not even on their list. That'd just be something that, like, would be the very last thing that they would do to, like, kind of milk out something if they could. And it probably wouldn't be good, but that's probably the reason why. They're better off making just another Resident Evil game.
Which they're going to do. We'll see how it goes, because,
we'll see how it goes.
I see what you're saying, for sure. They have no money. They can't be, you know, doing all this different stuff. But I still kind of feel like there is a possibility, and they did mention it, which kind of
Yeah,
they mentioned it like I was
yeah.
saying earlier, and they never backed it up or anything, which would make it seem more like they're not going to.
They could
It's
always
kinda,
just like hire people to do concept art, for example. It's like this is what William Birkin would look like in a remake, and just show it to everybody.
Oh yeah.
And that would build excitement, like if they just teased,
just a little bit,
just
but
kept
they can't-
just
they
to
can't
let
do
us know that they
Capcom
were
tease,
working
though.
on something. Like they might be able to tease, be like, okay, we'll do it, but then like they won't do it. But
Yeah.
if they
That's what they're
do
doing.
like
That's what they
concept
did,
art,
basically.
yeah, but like if they do concept art or something, like just to let us know that they're doing something about it,
Yeah. I
just
thought it was
to
kind of
build
ignorant, though.
awareness.
The more I was thinking about when they announced it, they said if there was enough people wanted it and they asked nicely, they would make it. And I thought that was kind of ignorant because, well, one, they
What-
never followed
yeah.
up, but it
What
was.
they were really
ignorant to-
saying is, we'll do it if a few million people ask for it.
No, it was just, I don't know how to explain
Because, like,
it.
they need the money, basically.
Yeah. It kind of seems like, okay, there is demand for it, people do want it, and you announced it, and you never followed up, and you said, you asked us to ask you nicely. It's like, they're kind of forgetting who they're working for. Like, we're not working for them. They're working for us. We want it, we asked nicely, and we still get
We're
nothing.
gonna pay for it, yeah. Like we
Yeah.
would pay for it if it came out, Like take our money, We would pay for an RE2 remake the fucking day it comes out, if not even pre-ordering it or however they're gonna release it. Even if it's just digital, which I would hate, but even
Yeah, I would
so,
too. It's better
even
than
so,
nothing.
it's better than nothing, and I would buy that on
Even like even if
console
it's even if it's digital, like I'm like you guys. I like having a physical copy.
For sure.
But it would be fun to do let's plays and reviews and videos and just talk about it. Like make that, like, even though it's digital, just make that an important like memory, I guess. Try our hardest to make that game memorable.
Yeah,
to have fun with
it's
it.
so cool to see like all the stuff, because there's no way that you could play that and not have nostalgia come back a little bit, even if it's a completely different game. If people, because RE2 is like a fan favorite, that's like
I remember the first time just like walking to that door in the police station, and this red frog thing just crawls by the window.
Oh, yeah.
And fucking like, what the hell is, like, there's no
horrifying.
music or anything.
it's all quiet, and you're just like, should I go through this door?
Completely quiet. It's like,
What the hell was that?
what the hell was that? It's like,
Yeah.
and
They could
like,
probably, I mean, they are looking for money and stuff, but there's diehard fans like me that would just, like, remake it, and, like, you could release a demo up until you get to the police station, which isn't that long at all, and I would pay you $60 for it.
Yes, I
Just
agree.
give it to me. But,
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta have demand, and I think there would be, like I said, if they
like, I think
did a little more with it, announced
it's
it a little
possible.
more, talked about it.
it's possible that they will make it, but at the same time, my opinion is that they won't because of money. They're poor right now. They didn't, for some reason, they released Remake only on the GameCube, and they use that as an excuse.
Yeah. I actually bought a GameCube for the Resident Evils, and like I said, because they released it on GameCube, none of my friends had a GameCube. We had Xboxes and PlayStation 2s. I love the GameCube now that I have it, but nobody had it then, and you can't release a big game like that on just one system. I know they had a deal with Nintendo, and I think it still stands, because if it wouldn't, they would have released an HD port of it. It's going to make them extra money, and I want that damn HD port.
Oh yeah, they could easily do that. That's another thing we could talk about real quick, is the HD port that was also rumored to be confirmed, but it never was.
That also like falls into my second point. It's like the second reason why I don't think an RE2 remake or an RE1 remake will ever reach HD consoles is because, like, how many times have you thought of a game where you're like, oh, like, it would be so cool if they just did this? How many times has that actually happened,
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I just think, go ahead.
They did Code Veronica. Like,
yeah, true.
I know they have a deal with
Nintendo,
Nintendo, but that was an older one. Like, that was kind of really random if you think about it.
But here's the thing. They didn't do anything with Code Veronica other than upscale the graphics. And I don't
That
think
game
they even,
still
like...
looks pretty decent, though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, like, it looks decent, but, like, we're talking about, like, from the ground up, excellent, like, these remakes, not just ports. And
Well, they put it- if they
I would hate.
it's like, what would you have preferred? Would you have preferred an upscaled Code Veronica like the one we got, or like imagine like this new Code Veronica where it's like in the same style as Remake? It's like that would have been cool. And they did the same thing with Halo Anniversary. It's like they actually remade this, like it's the same game, but they remade the graphics engine.
They're supposed to be redoing Halo 2 this year. From everybody's been talking about it. There's a lot of news about it. That there's supposed to be an anniversary edition of Halo 2. So I'm really excited for that because I'm a huge Halo fan. And
same.
let's see how that does. I'm sure it's going to do awesome. Maybe it'll show them that there's still, you can still make money off of these old classic games by upscaling them and redoing them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Halo things goes a little bit away. I'm just fine with my Halo 2 copy because especially if it's just for Xbox One, like I don't have an Xbox One and I wouldn't buy it for that. And like,
I would want them to release it on 360 because you got Halo.
Yeah, they should.
You got Halo 1, Halo 3, and Halo 4.
And dude, honestly,
it's like you need 2.
This fall, like when it comes out this fall, when it's rumored to come out, like it's still too soon to just say, oh, we're not going to release it on 360. It's like, I hope you guys realize not everybody has next-gen consoles.
That's the thing. Like I've been hearing
that
it's just.
They would do that.
I've been hearing that they're going to release it on Xbox One.
But they would lose sales, dude.
You can't do that. Like, you got to do it on 360.
They would lose sales because they have to realize, like,
I know, but like everything I've been hearing, it's like only on Xbox One, and it's like, well, what about Halo 5? Like, like they're saying that the next Halo journey will begin in 2014. Some people are saying, well, they're probably talking about Halo 2 because
that's
But then, like, other people are saying, like, no, it's going to be Halo 5 because, like, they leaked the date in that one Xbox magazine for 2014. It's like,
I really don't see how it would be Halo 5. There's absolutely no way we wouldn't have heard anything about it and they would just drop it on us. This is going to make them a ton of money. They want to build it up. I know because they were talking about making a Halo game, and everything I've been hearing is the Halo 2 remake. But they're also saying there's another one, which I think will be kind of like an ODST, like sort of a side game.
Yeah,
just
hold us over,
see how the sales go, how many people have an Xbox One and are going to buy a Halo game before we drop Halo 5, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, it's still too soon to, like, say, we're not going to release Halo 2 Anniversary on 360, because, like, I would prefer like to play it and pick it up, and I don't have a 1, but I have a PS4. But the thing is, the way we're talking about generations right now, speaking of that, if they were to bring Resident Evil Remake to the consoles, they would have, or if they were going to do it, they should have done it this past generation that already passed.
Yeah,
and that means they're probably never going to bring.
They missed their window when it could have been.
They're missed their window because it would just not make sense right now for them to do that.
If they did, they could release it on 4, 1, 360, and PlayStation 3, no problem. Just like Halo 2. I mean, they're going to upscale everything. It's going to look great, but it's not going to be like, they could easily run that on an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 3.
Oh, yeah.
The systems are still super powerful, and the potential of the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, we're not going to touch that for years.
Yeah, Halo 4 on 360 looks amazing. That pushed it to the limit. Same thing with Last of Us. That pushed PS3 to its limits. Like, top.
Yes, it was amazing when I first played it.
That was fucking great. I was just, like, looking at everything, inspecting everything.
That opening cutscene in Halo 4 still gives me chills.
Yeah.
My favorite scene from that game, I can't remember exactly what mission it was. You were in the woods, and Master Chief was walking out with the Spartans in front of him, and it was just so epic.
Oh yeah, people give Halo 4 being crap for kind of like having
people call Halo 4 Call of Duty. They're like because you can sprint, because there's armor abilities, and because there's custom classes, and because numbers pop up when you kill people. This isn't Halo anymore. This is Call of Duty.
If you want to look at it like that, you can consider all the first-person shooters into one genre.
Yeah,
they're all basically the same, but they're different. And I'm not a fan of Call of Duty. I played it a few times. I didn't mind it. I enjoy zombies, but it's not something I'm going to go and buy. I prefer Halo, and if I want a first-person shooter that's modern combat, I like Battlefield 3 and 4.
Battlefield 4 is really fun on PC. I'm having a lot of fun. Titanfall is good too. Yeah.
Titanfall I haven't got to try yet, but I hear a lot of really good things.
Yeah. I played the beta. I don't have money to buy the game. I'm not in a rush to buy the game.
I hear Titanfall. Titanfall is apparently Call of Duty with mechs, according to our wonderful reviewers of YouTube.
Well, the thing
Everything
is, though,
Call of
this is
so
competing.
Everything is Call of Duty.
This is going to kill Call of Duty. This is I mean, it's a great
Hope
game,
so.
and it's really addicting.
Well,
you know?
like, Ghosts was losing sales, and
They blame the transition of consoles.
even though like there was Call of Duty 2, which like transitioned to next gen, but like
that did awesome.
I didn't
You know-
mind the older Call of Duty, so I actually enjoyed them ones like 2 and 3. Them were pretty fun.
2 was fun.
I think I started hating Call of Duty because I don't know, like when Halo was out, I was huge into Halo. That's what all my friends played, and then everybody started playing Gears of War, and I hated Gears of War because everybody was playing it. Then when the hype died down and everybody went to Call of Duty, I started liking Gears of War a lot.
Oh, I love Gears
And now
of War.
I really like Gears of War,
Gears
but I don't
of
know,
War
maybe
1.
I'm just
Gears of
too
War
hard of a Halo
1,
fan.
like Gears of War 2 was my first Gears of War, but oh my god, like I have so many memories playing Gears of War 2. And then like I went back to Gears of War 1. I was like, oh my god, like Gears of War 1 is fucking amazing as well. Like
the Gears of War trilogy sums up my generation of Xbox. That's where I had the most memories. That's where I met the one of the best online communities I've ever met.
Yeah.
It's so much nostalgia. That between that and RE5, that time period, it was just like there's nothing that will ever be like that again. Neither PS4, Xbox One, or PS5 and Xbox, whatever the fuck, could ever in the next coming years could ever capture that capsule in time with any of those games that came out, whether it's RE5, Gears 1, Halo 3, Halo 4, playing zombies on Halo 3, custom games with like 20 random people that me and my friend Kyle just randomly met and we invited to play on our map. Like, stuff like that I'll never forget, and it's sad that it's over, but there's nothing that could ever recreate that. And that's what kind of sucks.
There will be like more games though. Like there will be more exclusives that will give us really fun times.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be, but I'm saying like that back then that was like that was the time. Like we think about it, we grew up with a lot of good fucking games. Just on 360.
We
also,
did.
I mean, even though we're still like past, like we grew up with PS1 as well. And stuff like that, and like Nintendo and
Like
stuff
as
like that.
as kids, like we were like PS1, PS2, but like we still grew up with 360. Like at the beginning of our like teens.
Yeah, we're like seeing the height of online, and we're seeing the changes and stuff like that in the online community and the little kids online, and we were those little kids at one point, and then
and we started hating the little kids.
Then we started hating the little kids, and then we talked about somebody
because
who,
they fuck everybody's mother. All these little kids. I fucked your mother last night.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, really? Well, could you find your dick first? Because I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, yeah, and then we got people who say that Xbox is out to get you. Remember that guy, Richard? Remember that guy? Do you remember?
Oh, I remember that conversation you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh my God.
Shit, yo, you a genius.
Yeah,
You
you a genius, man. You're so smart. You're getting all mad. Oh, look at it. He's getting mad. It's like, I was like, dude, what the fuck is your problem?
Man, you need a girlfriend, man. Like, you a genius.
I was like, I need a girlfriend? Okay, well, you don't know me, motherfucker.
And then, like, he starts denying it. It's like, you, me, Jenny, like, we're all saying, yeah, you did say that.
It's like, no, I didn't say that. It's like, motherfucker.
It's like 3 people are, like, just fucking telling him. It's like, you did fucking say that. Nah, man. You guys
You guys are out to get me. You
Just
guys
like
are
the
part of
government
Microsoft's
Xbox.
scheme.
He's like, why would they listen to you? They're like, why don't you go out and make a console?
Oh my God. Yeah, he's like, why don't you do it? I'm like, dude, I'm not
like,
even talking about that.
I buy a game, and, like, if they shut down the service for that game, I don't give a fuck. I just play the next game.
Oh my God. People like that
That's
are like...
bullshit, though. I would with the shutting down services and stuff like that. I hate that. That's why I hate digital, and I'm so against it. Because they could just take my stuff away at any time.
Yeah, imagine if RE2 remake or something was on digital, and then it's like you technically never own it. You just kind of
well, you're Veronica and 4 on the
Well,
Xbox 360.
You would have it on your hard
God.
drive, but you wouldn't be able to re-download it.
Yeah, I think...
Like they took away all the Marvel games. It's like,
Yeah.
I want you guys to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with me. Oh, but you can't buy it anymore.
I have it, and I re-downloaded it on my console. I have it again. I was on my download history, and when I heard they took it down, I immediately re-downloaded it, and there you go. I got it.
Yeah, like you
You
need
see
it
the
in
price of
download
it
history.
in stores? It's like $50 pre-owned.
For PS2,
it's
yeah.
skyrocketed. Oh, PS2. I was talking about the. Wait, no, I was thinking of something else. My bad.
Okay. Well, I know that Marvel vs. Capcom 2, like, my friend bought it for PS2 for, like, $50. Because it's one of those rare games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, it's kind of cool to like, you know, that they ported it and stuff like that, but I just think, like, they started taking down Marvel vs. Capcom 3 stuff on the marketplace. I'm just like, why? The game's still,
I think
like,
they took
relative.
down Deadpool as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did. They took down that. They took down the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Ultimate, all their shit. You can't get Jill anymore,
Spider-Man.
for example. You can't get
Yeah, like,
Spider-Man.
I never bought Shuma Gorath. I bought Jill. But I was like...
I got Joe because I reserved the game, and I got it.
But there's, like, every time I launch Marvel vs. Capcom 3, there's always going to be that one, like, question mark box. That one character
Yep.
I
That
can
you'll
never
never be
play.
able to play.
Well, here's the thing.
And he's
that's
impossible to unlock.
That's why I love the fact that I got my 360 JTAG, because all the DLC they took down you can actually get, and it's cool because years from now when they aren't like when you aren't able to get anything, you can get it on the console and play it, not even online. And I like that because it just comes to show where it's like, you know, people do this shit, people hack shit for a reason because
Yeah, I
they
was
want to be
just
able
gonna
to
say
play
it's gonna
this
get
stuff.
more popular when you do shit like that. You're
Yeah.
only you don't want people to do this. You're only asking for them to do it more when you start doing stuff like this.
Yeah, because what if, like, you know, somebody didn't get characters on Marvel? What if they just got into Marvel vs. Capcom and they're fans and they want to play as Jill, for example? What if they're big Resident Evil fans? They're like, oh, I want to play as Jill and shit like that.
Hell
It's
yeah, I
like-
want to play as Jill.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's like,
You know, I
oh,
never
wait, I
bought
can't
the
get it.
costumes. Like, there's Stars costumes as well. Never
Mm.
got them.
Yep. And
Ooh.
that's what I'm saying.
Something completely random, but when you were talking about the Stars costumes, Resident Evil 6 did do something really cool. They released all the original characters in the blocky
PS1?
forms for the mercenaries.
I got the
I thought that
PS1.
was cool. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that they did that. It was way better of an idea than releasing the Left 4 Dead characters in it. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
my God.
That's not even the same game. It's not even in the same genre. It has zombies. Well, must be like Resident Evil.
It must-
Yeah. Well, the thing, though, yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think that, you know, like, this whole thing with the Resident, like, the current state of everything, I think that, you know, Resident Evil is, it's kind if there's another one happening, and when something is announced, you know, we'll definitely be on it. I think that the remake in general, I really hope that one day they decide on it. I think that maybe if, like, RE7 is, or whatever they're going to call it, is going to be, like, kind of more successful, maybe it gets more on the critical acclaim side, they might build some confidence. Then we might be able to be on the terms of, like, an RE2, even if it's a digital release. Maybe
That's
just something.
Really what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping they redeem themselves, and it's not hard. They just have to listen, and I know they have a problem with that, so they need to work on it.
Yeah, like, it's not like I want to be the guy to say, like, it's just not going to happen, but, like, right now it doesn't look like it's going to, but, like, it could easily turn around. It's just on them, you know? Because, like, we brought up a bunch of series, you know, throughout, like, the show already, and, like, all of it's relative because, you know, some of them, like Metal Gear and stuff like that, have stayed, or even Halo has stayed faithful to the fan base. You know, very, I mean, the people who criticize it, or for dumb reasons, they're casual players. They kind of played Halo 3, like, one time at a friend's house, and then they played the fourth one, and then they're judging it off Call of Duty Black Ops 2, or they're judging it off of...
Yeah, you'll get a lot of that.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, people like us, we appreciate shit like, you know, Halo or Metal Gear or Resident Evil, because it's like, we're fans of it, and we're not gonna complain, we're not gonna give criticism that doesn't have, like, a valid reasoning behind it. I think, like, all of our opinions towards RE6 have reasons behind it. We're not just saying, oh, well, you know, this kind of looks like, if I was, like, saying, if I said, the game's censored so I fucking hate it, I would be an idiot, because I said the game turned me off kind of because of that, but it didn't, like, take away from my overall score.
Yeah, like, it's not the main reason why you dislike
There's
the game.
a lot. Yeah, there's a lot that bothered me in it. There was a ton that bothered me in a lot of them. But I don't know. It's
What bothered you?
It was there was what bothered me in 4.
I'm just
it's
curious.
when it started. I mean, I really do like it, and it definitely is a great game, and I can replay it over and over, and I love it.
Yeah.
What really bothered me is where they kind of, I know they need to do something new, and the behind the back is fine. That's all fine. That works perfectly with the game. The upgrading is amazing. I can't say anything bad about it because they did the same thing in 5. That was great. What really started turning me off was the enemies they had. They weren't as creepy. They just didn't make sense to me. It's just, I mean, the things in the original series were, grown in a lab and stuff like that, and then the ones in this just,
Yeah,
I don't know,
see
just
that.
kind of
Yeah,
got
I
a little out
understand.
there with the midget and the giant robot. It's just like, come on now,
Yeah.
this is getting a little out there. This is
Yeah.
taking me out of the experience. I could see where you could do this right, but when you have stuff like that, it bothers me. And it was a great game, and I don't say anything. I don't say the game wasn't good. It's just that stuff really
I understand.
got me out of the experience of it.
Yeah, because you're going from the first 3, and then you're going from that, and you're just like, eh. But the things that did work for me were Vertigo, which is, they call him, it's kind of like Salazar's partner. That's the real name of the guy, Vertigo, the guy you fight in the cellar once Salazar sends you down that, layer, and fucking, he's like,
Verdugo.
I'm not falling for this old trick, and fucking throws the shit.
The right hand of Salazar.
The right hand, yeah.
yeah.
I call him Vertigo, because that's his name.
Yeah, his name is Verdugo, but
Vertugo, whatever. I call him
Verdugo,
Vertigo.
but it's Spanish for executioner.
Yeah, I just call him Vertigo, whatever.
But
Regardless,
that
shit
that
is
thing
cool.
was cool. Like the
Yeah.
U3 was also a really
U3.
cool boss.
Yeah, he was creepy. Dude, the death scenes in that game, by the way, I just want to say
Were
this as a
awesome,
side
yeah.
note, were all they were creepy. Like the bugs melting your face, that's crazy shit. You know what
Oh
I
my
mean?
God.
That's really cool.
The scenery was great too. I remember when I was playing it,
Yeah.
and I walked into just a little shanty house, and there was a chick. She was held up with a pitchfork through her face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Holy
right
shit.
in the beginning.
You
That's
examine the
awesome.
body, it's like, I guess there's no sex discrimination here.
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
well, she got fucked up.
Fucking twisted, man.
If you go
Yeah.
on the other side of that cabin, you can see the giant blood stain just
Yeah.
soaking through the wood.
Yeah, that was great. Little things like that. You guys did an awesome job with that. Keep that shit up in the games. It's
Yeah,
creepy.
dude. And the regenerator deaths and shit, that was just bite your neck and
What
shit.
one of the most grueling ones is when the U3 picks you up and breaks your neck
Yeah.
with the tentacle. That's just
I like when he cuts your lower back. I think he
just
picks
cuts
up
you
your
in half.
legs.
It's
Yeah,
yeah.
that's just crazy. It's creepy. It makes you afraid, and that's why I think RE5 had whatever deaths. They kind of censored the chainsaw as well in that one because
Yeah.
it only just kind of cuts your neck. They pulled a Japan thing there, but no, RE4 though. Yeah, it's just one of those games, man.
Even
where you play it
the
over and
not so
over.
gory scenes where, remember near the end of the game, you open the dumpster and you see the body bag twitching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was.
It's what the hell is? And if you
the
shoot it, it
flashbang.
dies.
Yeah.
And the whole area they had it too. That was creepy as fuck. The
Oh my
woods
God,
and
yeah. I like the I think it's the I think it's the UK artwork where you see the chainsaw guy in the woods. I always kind of like that cover art.
Oh,
that
I
always
love
looked
that.
kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Really
The artwork here looks cool, but I just think because seriously, if you think about it, maybe I'd say 50 or 60% of that game is woods. You know what I mean? Or it's in some creepy outskirts of it was its own. It was more kind of like the original Resident Evil, where it's it was in its own place.
area. Yeah, you weren't
Yeah,
all over
it's-
the place. You had one place
Exactly.
to focus on, and that's what grew memories. It
Yeah.
was one thing. You weren't going from one end of the country to the other, and
Like RE6, yeah. It's going worldwide. It's that's not as good as you're saying, Capcom, because that can either work or not work, and it didn't really work. And I
I
think
don't remember it. That's
yeah, it's just I think when it's smaller and it's just just Leon doing his shit on his own with Ada running around doing her own thing. Got Ashley, who's just a useless shit, and she's just kind of there to be annoying, who you can kill easily, and that I don't understand how she can get hit in the face with whatever an axe, but then if you shoot her in her leg, she dies. They could have at least made it so she gets hurt if you accidentally shoot her. But she just,
died,
falls.
So they couldn't have had that. People would have got pissed off. when you're playing Operation Raccoon, the AI was so dumb that it like just pissed a lot of people off. So that's kind of why they did that. Enemies couldn't really kill her because it would have got really frustrating because she's dumb.
Yeah, I mean, another thing about 4 that I liked was I like the fact that even though, like, because people were like, well, because I've heard this criticism, RE4 isn't that good because, they give you a bunch of weapons. It doesn't feel like, you should be scared.
But, like, it's up to you to manage them.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. The survival aspect. And
Love that.
Oh, shit, how much am I going to spend? Like, can I sell this? Or, did I find this treasure? I have to go back in that room with all those guys to get that treasure, to combine it with this. It's like...
Should I get, like, a bigger case for more stuff? Or should I, like, upgrade my guns so they perform better?
Yeah, like,
It's not like they just fucking give you ammo like an RE6. It's like there's strategy to it.
Yeah,
there's
items. It's extremely addicting. Leveling up is super addicting. And that's where RE6 really went bad. They let you upgrade your character. Who fucking cares? I didn't need to upgrade anything, and I could beat that game.
They did it. Okay, I don't care what people say. Those upgrades didn't do shit. Not one fucking.
Yeah.
They literally did nothing. Oh, well, more ammo drops or whatever the fuck it was. It was like more like
You'd be like on danger, and you'd be like, okay, I need a health herb or a green herb. Okay, give me something. Give me an herb. Give me a spray. I need a healing item. Don't give me skill points, god damn it.
Yeah. I would rather like micromanage my items with me and my partner, that I'm playing the game with, rather than just worry about my character's stats that have nothing to really do.
Exactly. And the health was broken in that game. We talked about that before. That was so bad.
That was one of the things that I really hated about 6, because you would get touched by a zombie, and you would lose an entire square.
Yeah, it just wouldn't make sense. And then the whole health capsules, I hated that. Just make it herbs. Just make it herbs.
Yeah, it's like you have to pick up the herb and then convert it into pills. But it's like why can't I just use the herb? Why do I have to do
a system that works so well in 4 and 5, and then they just completely try to change it for absolutely no reason.
Yeah,
and even the fucking option menu in that game was extremely irritable.
Oh my god,
I couldn't figure it out. Like they all had different menus, and I just want to fucking put invert on, and I have to do all this shit to try to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, 4 and 5 are so identical, and then 6 is just like the bad stepchild that nobody likes. It's just kind of like, why?
That was one of my complaints when we first played the demo.
Yeah.
Back in like July 2012.
Yeah, it's there. It's on
like
record.
It's like
the video.
I like this, but it's just so different. Like this. This doesn't.
Me and Richard were. Yeah, I remember when we were talking about.
It doesn't feel like modern Resident Evil. It feels like action.
It feels like a mess.
That was a weird time because when that came out, everything just felt unreal. It was like, once I saw the trailer, I was like, really? I was like, this looks kind of cool, but like, is this really like coming out? It was very unreal, but not in a really good way. It was just kind of like, what are they doing? And
what is happening?
And then when the demo came out, I remember that summer. I remember like it was yesterday. I just got done playing like Dead Space and stuff like that for the first time, the first one. And then I was like, yo, Richard, like, this demo just came out, like, it leaked online, and we can play it. Like, we started up from our, consoles. You burn it to a DVD-R, and you can just boot it up from the arcade thing. So
I still keep it in my collection.
Yeah, still got it.
It says RE6 demo, and I put it in a CD case, and it's with the rest of the games.
Yeah, and we played that, and I remember I didn't play anything until I waited for Richard. So I was.
I think you played the Leon campaign, didn't you?
Yeah, I played the Leon, so I made sure it like worked. Like I didn't beat it though. I like played through like maybe like the little like halfway point because I forget what you played in.
I remember we were so excited to see like what happened in like after the Chris scenario. Like, why is he in the bar?
We were just like, why is he depressed?
I love that actually.
I was like, oh, is he, like, upset about Jill? Did something happen to her?
Yeah. And then it was just because he fucking lost, like, some random fucking guy that we don't... I was just like, man...
He lost
I don't know. I liked Chris. Like, I think that's the reason why I kind of like this campaign, just because of him alone. Like, he's an awesome character, regardless of where they put him. Mm-hmm. But I thought the fact that he was so upset over that...
Yeah.
I just, like, why?
I think
I
like
was a young kid, but
out of context, I think it's really sad because it's like, okay, he loses his you know, his comrades, his family in battle. That's a good reason, but the way that they did it, I don't care about any of those people that died.
that's what I'm saying.
But like I can understand why
That- and-
he's sad. I just don't understand like I don't feel like I can't get sad with him, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole idea, is try to feel what he's feeling. If it was Jill, then fuck. We'd be killed over that. But it's like, no, it's just some person.
They
Go
just
ahead.
also didn't put too much focus on it. Like, I think the games would be so much better if they focused more on one character and actually made, you know, real life problems with these people, I guess you could say. Like, I always thought that it would be so cool if they would have made Chris, you know, an alcoholic because, you know, all the shit that happened in Resident Evil 1 and all the stuff he's been through. Like, you know, I think they should put a lot more story and make these characters feel a lot real and focus on it.
More
And
emotional
I think
conflict, yeah.
Anthony
Yeah,
and I
this
came
would-
up with this idea where like one of the animated movies should be Jill recovering. And
Yeah.
it would be a very
that.
human story to it.
yeah,
but-
they could.
They're never going to do it.
No.
So we
They-
can just
they-
wish and wish and
they
they're not
have-
going to fucking do it.
Too many characters with too many different things going on, and like I said, if it would have made it a little more real, and this will probably make some people mad, but kill a couple main characters off. That'll get people more into the story. You know, they're going to be upset. That's good. That's what
Yeah.
you want. You want to make people feel things when you play these games. You know, you want to upset people. You know, they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that character just died." You know, what's going to
That's
happen
the
next?
thing. Like people like you and me and like Anthony, we're all going to like understand what they're going for. It's like, okay, like I can truly appreciate what they're doing and why they're doing this. Everybody else on the internet is going to complain about it. And that's
Yeah.
probably why they're not going to do it. It's like, oh, like if they introduced Rebecca for a few missions, it's like, okay, cool, we get to see Rebecca again, and then like she's really
kill her.
likable, and then kill her. It's like, okay, wow, this is really sad. I'm drawn into the story. And then people would be like, 3 out of 10 because Rebecca died.
Yeah, that sucks, but I don't know. If you want a good show, I really like The Walking Dead, and they kill off main
Yeah.
characters here and there.
Don't
And-
spoil season 4 because I haven't seen season
No,
4.
I haven't seen it either. So
I've seen it. I'm going to spoil it right now. No,
Do
I'm
it.
kidding.
Fuck you.
You warned everybody.
The,
No, but-
the whole world blows up. There's no more show. There you go. That's the whole song.
You see the prison splits in two, and like
The world splits in two with humans and infected.
your entire childhood falls into the abyss of lava and darkness
All the
because
seasons your collection just fall like
like
away.
they made a new a new thing that you didn't like.
No, season
everything-
4 is good.
Everything
Kind of.
turns into desert, and everybody wears raggedy clothes, and it's all post-apocalyptic, like Resident
it's
Evil
Why,
Apocalypse.
Capcom?
Yeah.
You
Or not Apocalypse, what was that?
Extinction.
Extinction, yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant.
No, but I mean, the thing is, the good news is that with every new game since like 5, they've done an animated thing. So maybe we might get
Actually,
something else. They what?
Oh no.
Wait, what?
I couldn't hear what you said. Internet was shitty, and you turned into a robot.
Oh no, I was saying like what did you say? Because I said with each one they like since 5 they've done an animated thing.
Oh, I was gonna say I loved the animated movies compared
Yeah, they were
to
good.
the actual movies, but I think they're good. But the reason why I like them so much is because they're so much better than the actual movies.
Yeah,
But
you appreciate them a little bit more.
yeah, I mean, seeing the Tyrant or Mr. X in
And
the
the
newest
Lickers.
one they made, that was awesome. I
Yeah.
didn't like the whole mind control thing and stuff like that, but it was still so much better than the actual movies that I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I agree, and I think like like you were saying, I feel the more emotional connection with characters is key because I mean Chris and Jill, they're in their 40s now.
Mm-hmm.
They're old. They're older.
They're all old.
You
and
can't.
they still look like they're in their 20s.
Well, yeah, they still look good. I mean, when you make BSAA, him and Chris and Jill, I mean, you're going to try to stay in shape. I think that, like you said, I felt like it would have been better if Chris... Cause when Richard played that, and the first time I saw that, the first thing we thought was, like, Jill. Like, there has to be something wrong with Jill, or just everything is just catching up to him. Because one thing that I thought was different, and I thought about it, was those viral campaigns. Remember them?
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, and how he would come back from 5. It was like taking place after 5, and he was like pretty much like shell shocked and shit. Like he would see writing on the wall, and I thought those were kind of like creepy. Like he's on a date with like a hot chick, and like he just like loses his shit, and she just kind of like leaves him there, and he's just kind of like flipping out. And I think like that's really cool. And I was starting to think like maybe that's kind of what they're going for, not based off that specifically, but like he's just been through much.
Same idea.
Yeah, same idea. And then it's just like, but then me and Rich were also saying like, why was he saying it's all worth fighting for, and then he's just like depressed? Because that was the first thing we saw when we didn't know why he was upset. It was like
at the end of 5, he's like,
yeah,
for a future without fear,
it's worth.
Yeah, it's worth. And it's like when you take that ending into context, the viral campaigns don't even make sense.
That is true.
Because it's like, why is he shell shocked when he just said, "Yeah, it's like I can do this as long as we live in a better world."
Yeah, we saved Sheva, Jill's saved, Josh is here. Nobody cares about Josh, but Josh is here, and we're going.
It's all about.
He had electricity. He got super powered.
It's all about Doug. Doug's my favorite character in Resident Evil series.
You don't have to tell me twice.
You don't have to tell me twice. He just like runs back. Oh my god.
No wait, who's Chris's partner in Resident Evil 6? That's who I was talking about.
Piers.
Piers. His ending was terrible. I like how he died, but I didn't like how he turned into a monster with electrical powers. That was so dumb. How does that even happen?
Playing as that was fucking annoying.
Well,
oh my god.
We all know that in Amazing Spider-Man 2, we're going to get a cameo from Piers.
What?
Yeah. He's the main character, Electro.
He's Electro.
The thing is, though, I mean, they just, I don't know, man. I mean, with RE7, like, they just really need to just make it more stripped down and simple and not this, like, big...
Yeah, actually, now that we're talking about that, you start. What would you say they would need to do with Resident Evil 7? What would you hope to see? What do you want from it to revive it and also to make it a good game, Anthony? What would you like? And then Richard.
All right. Well, we always get asked this a lot. And
yeah.
I think.
I've heard it too.
Yeah. No. I see what you're saying though. Yeah, it's relative to the conversation. I think that this is hard to make this sound right. I think that with RE7, like I said, more stripped down story, not as bloated and trying to make it like this epic thing.
They need to do it like the way they used to, where you don't know anything and you find out piece by piece in these notes.
And I think that they should do it, and maybe bring. I don't know. That's the thing. That's the really hardest part, is who they could bring back.
They could always do like a poll. It's like, ask the fans, okay, like which. Yeah. Like, this is Capcom. They don't fucking listen, but if they were actually serious about it, they could do, like, the most popular characters.
No, because you know it would be Leon, again. And I love Leon. I'm just saying, you know it would be him.
It's like Leon and Wesker.
Yeah. Let's bring it back just because the fans want it.
I don't know. I think that... I don't know. I think that the main character should be the one from Survivor. No, I'm kidding. I think that the main I think the main characters, characters. It should be. I think they can keep it co-op. Okay, like that's always fine, but definitely make it more survival and no action. Definitely make it a more like we were talking about earlier in the show. Just what made the original so cool and just so different. Make it terrifying, because I think what they had going for 4 and 5, it was a step in the right direction, but it still wasn't like legit horror like we had. And I think they could do that somehow. And I don't know stories and plot lines or anything, but I think that they could easily do that, and maybe bring back Chris and Jill just one last time, and you could even kill them off, or kill one of them off. I mean, we're at a time where you could do that, and honestly, it would suck to see that happen, and it would break our hearts, but we would see how it's necessary, how to just kind of close a chapter, or maybe something happens and just that's it, goodbye to our heroes,
more invested into the story.
Yeah, more invested. Or you can even do it where something happens in the beginning of the game and it transitions to another character. Something could happen to Chris or Jill, And
what they could also like try. This may sound bloated, but in reality it wouldn't be, because they could include every like single character that we all love, but
And kill them all at one time.
no. We see them. We see them
intro,
like, you
yeah.
know, here and there. We don't see them all at once, but like, you know how in Remake it's like you would bump into Barry or you would bump into Wesker.
yeah,
It's like you could bump into them here and there, but like things happen to them as well. So it's like, just give everybody closure, you know? It's like, what if they
Yeah.
ended the series and like you never see like fucking, I don't know, who needs closure? Like Ada and Leon. It's like their relationship never fucking like happens.
that's why I was so afraid if RE6 was the last one. Like, if it ends there, like, oh my god, no.
Let Leon pretend to die as a hero, and then he moves to Paris with Ada, and then his butler is there and gives him a nod. That's the end.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Batman. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with Richard. I mean, I would like to see a lot of stuff like closed finally. You know, there's closure
You know, like
between.
I agree with that Dark Knight Rises ending, because in Resident Evil 3 we see that picture where Ada is crying and there's like a scar on her stomach or something, and she's like, okay, one more mission or whatever. Or it's like, these are not my tears, these are Ada's tears. It's like, you can tell that she was going to quit this profession, but for some reason she never did. So it's like, why can't like she just like have a happy life with Leon? You know what I mean?
Something.
It's like, just
she's
like
a good person, like at heart. Like, you know, she is.
she's exactly the Catwoman of Resident Evil.
Yeah, exactly. I agree, 100%. And you
Me
know
too.
what? I would like to see her come back and like maybe make her be a little bit more on the good side, not much as like a vigilante type. You know,
Yeah.
like kind of on like different sides and like doing stuff on her own. Because like honestly, what else does she have to do on her own now? You know what I mean? Like, who?
Yeah.
There's
They'll
literally
just come up
nobody-
with like
They
some story.
drug these characters out way too long, and that's their own fault. Now they're going to have a hard time trying to figure out how to close them and start a new trilogy.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
Yeah.
I kind of want them to start fresh. I want them to do new things. You know, don't completely get rid of the characters, but you should have. When Ada died, or spoiler, when Ada died in Ada's clone died in Resident Evil 6, I was so like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was
But
playing.
then-
I was playing with Anthony when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, did I seriously just see that? That
I was
didn't
like,
happen.
they did something
that,
awesome. Yeah.
that didn't fucking happen. Anthony,
But
was
I
that
did.
Ada? Did they just kill Ada? No.
And I didn't say any. I didn't say anything. And I think it was like Rich's first time, so I was just like,
Yeah,
dude, like,
because I was playing Chris's campaign first. I was
yeah.
like,
I
what
knew
the hell
what
are they
was gonna
doing
happen.
here?
I told my cousin when we were playing it, I was like, dude, like before that happened, I was like, she's wearing different clothes. I was like, I don't know if it's a game glitch or something's going on. When she died, I was like, oh, that's crazy. I can't believe that happened. Awesome. And I was just like, oh, wait, I know what's going on here.
I didn't catch it at first. I completely missed it. But like, I
caught
did
that.
notice the clothes thing. I was like, I don't know. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. I was just confused, man. I didn't know. But
We were originally gonna have 6 Ada.
Yeah.
Oh my
God, they're
God.
going into the movies now. Stop.
God, they have to leave it alone. But they have to, like, the thing is that if they completely ignore RE6, which is fine and all, but it's like, it still just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
RE6
What is up with
ignored
that
like
Jake ending at the end of 6?
Oh,
What the
God.
hell is
that
that
fucking
supposed
like
to be?
Assassin's Creed shit.
Yeah. They have
It's like
so
wearing
many games.
Altair's robe.
If you really think about it, they had so many games in Resident Evil 6. You had Uncharted. You had Gears of War. I know you like Gears of War, but it doesn't fit in my Resident Evil games. And you had,
Yeah.
I don't know what you would consider Leon's a try for older Resident Evils, but really
A
wasn't.
lackluster, like, survival
Yeah,
horror game.
lackluster is the word.
Bad mashup. Don't bring other genres into it. You're just, you're making it more messy than it already is.
I hate
Richard,
the running.
What I guess, okay, because Anthony, you said you made your points on what you would want for
Yeah.
Resident Evil 7. Richard, what would you want?
I would want them to make like a prequel to like the George Trevor storyline,
Okay.
Because it's like in Remake, you find out about this family, right? The guy constructed the mansion for Spencer. And then, Spencer kidnapped his family, and they experimented on them, and then George Trevor, died alone in the mansion. It's like, how cool would it be to play during the 60s? Like, you have the lighter that Jill would eventually get. Like, you have, like, your old-fashioned shotguns and stuff, and, seeing a young Spencer in those flashbacks when he's not in the wheelchair, and, like, seeing him in his youth, like, as an actual, like, human tyrant. I don't mean, like, a tyrant weapon. I mean, like, the definition of a tyrant, where he's just, like, a cruel person.
Yeah.
And just seeing, like, how these things, like, actually, came to be. Because, like, this guy, you gotta, like, fucking remember, like, okay, like, a tiger statue and shit. And it would just be cool to, like, have a prequel.
I think that would be really cool. I really don't think they can make a game off of it, though, because there's just not enough. There's no enemies or anything, but I really could see that being an awesome flashback.
Yeah.
As you get to play as him for a little bit while he's doing these different things, and, he had the notes and stuff. And
as for the enemies, like, they'd probably, they'd probably do something, but, like, I can see that like at least being a really good flashback scene.
You know what?
Flashbacks would be perfect for that.
Yeah, because dude, I think if they were to do that, that would be a perfect thing to throw in there to put people right back in that mindset of like Resident Evil, like
unlock
what people know
Trevor's story.
Yeah, like it would seriously put people like, oh my god, like if this is gonna be kind of like the same like idea of what they're going for, like I like this, because hardcore fans would understand, more casual people wouldn't understand. So it's like, but even so,
they would.
Even so,
I think the more casual people will still get it, because
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, even
like,
so, it's gonna work.
It'll be a new story for them being revealed to them for the first time.
Yeah,
they have no idea what's going to happen to George Trevor. We already know.
Yeah,
it could be a game though, because we already know the mansion. I mean, we know all the puzzles and everything, so it couldn't be its own game. We'd already know, but it's just
they'd have to take like certain liberties.
Yeah,
to change things.
Yeah, there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to do that. And like I said, like we were just saying, it's just, I think it would just be perfect just to set people up and be like, look, we're really trying here to go back and do something different. And
like they're always talking about going back to their roots.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to go back to your fucking roots.
There you go.
Here's this shit.
Bring up some of these stories that they... Yeah. That's so... Yeah, let's do a flashback to that guy that was all itchy and scratchy and then started eating.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Itchy tasty, yeah.
Yeah.
That fucking guy. Yeah, I think, like, they could do so much, and maybe they can reveal something that wasn't there, at first, that we didn't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe there's a reason why we're having these flashbacks of George Trevor. Maybe there's something that was hidden that we didn't even know past the mansion.
They could add more story to the mansion. They could use them stories to build up to something that they haven't released yet.
Exactly.
That would be cool.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, we're talking as, like, hardcore fans here, and, like, we think that's cool, and I'm sure other listeners out there would think it's cool, and that's why I want you guys to let us know what you would really think would work well with the RE7. You can leave your comments, as always, down below and your thoughts. But I think, there's just so much they could do right, and I think, at the end of the day, I just really hope that they, use it to their advantage, because I feel like they there's so many ways they can fuck it up, but there's so many ways they can do a good job.
They could.
Like, there's so much potential, but there's so much fear of just, like... Because if they fuck up again, they're done. I mean, seriously. If they have a track record of RE6 and RE7, if RE7's like RE6, they're just done. I mean...
A lot of people say, like, if you hate the new games so much, why do you buy them? That's only, giving in to the problem. And I think about it, I buy it because if I don't, and a lot of people don't buy them, they're not going to make them anymore. You know what I mean? We're kind of screwed here. So
it's a double-edged sword.
Well, the thing is, 4 and 5 was good, but we didn't know RE6 was going to be lackluster. Like,
even though I know how it is now, I still would have bought it, over and over again. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan.
Yeah, exactly.
I still thought it was an okay game, and it definitely, a lot of fun playtime, but it was just not up to par with what I would like.
Yeah, if we're sitting up here and, like, saying, like, oh, like 4, 5, 6 are fucking terrible, but like I'm still gonna get them for PS3 and the HD ports. So it's like then they can use that against us. But that's not like we
Like,
actually.
I
like
think
this
what
game.
we do
Oh,
is
yeah, I wanna
we
see
will
Resident
like
Evil 4 in HD.
what we do is we play the newer games, but we like because this was what I was trying to tell like one of the idiots who was trying to troll me. I was like, yo, we judge a game for what it is, and we judge it based on its positives and its negatives. Sure, RE6 fucking sucks in the survival horror department,
Yeah,
but
if
it was still a fun action game. Like it's ridiculous
on its own. Yeah,
like
on
I
its own.
said,
Like you're fighting a fucking dinosaur. Like what do you expect?
yeah, that's
But
horrible.
like,
I
know,
don't
like-
care. There's nothing. You have
Yeah.
no way to justify that. There should
Well,
not be a fucking dinosaur in my goddamn Resident Evil game. I'm sorry.
Still, it's an
I get
action game.
upset.
It's an action game, and it's like it has a lot of replay value, and that's that. But like the fucking guy is like, no, like you can't just fucking like you're wrong, and the guy fucking pasted the same rant. I shit you not. This was like a fucking paragraph.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah, he because if you go to his Google Plus profile, any Google Plus profile, you will see that people like post comments on videos. He posts the same rant on other Resident Evil videos.
He's just a troll.
You're always gonna get people like that, though. You just can't.
he's just
You,
a troll.
you can't let them get to you. I know it irritates you and stuff like that, but just don't worry about it. There's so many more people like that out there that are just
so
gonna
many
keep.
trolls that just never stop.
There's also cool people, to talk to and stuff that, you're just going to get a variety of people, and you just don't let it bother you. There's probably thousands of other people that are going to say the same thing he does.
Yeah.
I get a lot of shit on some of my videos, and a lot of people like on my Resident Evil. A lot of people on my Resident Evil reviews praise the Resident Evil reviews. Some guy really wrote a paragraph saying how much he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But there are some who were like, "Oh, stop whining! Like you're so annoying."
Stop whining.
What else am I supposed to talk about?
Stop, yeah, it's like stop whining. It's like I'm talking about the fact that I'm talking a piece of history. I'm talking about how Capcom fucked over the fans with Director's Cut, which is true. And sorry, I'm saying that like I would be mad. I wasn't legitimately like pissed, but I was trying to say from somebody's perspective from back then. That's pretty frustrating when they re-release it and they still don't put the uncensored cutscenes, and they fucked up thereby sending people strategy guides and T-shirts. Like, come on, like, and you're gonna say that I'm the one that bitching? Like, what the fuck?
People have to also see where you're coming from, because yes, everybody has the right to argue. That's totally fine. And if you don't agree with what I say, you can tell me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they have to see where you're coming from before they can make a valid argument.
I agree, yeah.
And like I said, there's people on my Remake Resident Evil 2 page that'll message me from time to time, and they'll be like, what's the point? They're not going to do it. Why is this page still up? It's because what does this page hurt by having it up? I'm not going to lose anything. There's nothing to lose here. I'm just doing this because I enjoy Resident Evil and I want to remake. I don't.
And you like talking to other fans, yeah.
Yeah, like it's a cool place for us to hang out. I'm not putting money into this or anything. I'm going to keep it up, even if there is no way in hell they came out and said we're not going to make a remake of Resident Evil 2. So stop asking. I'm not going to take the page down. What the hell's the point of that?
Yeah, just still talk about it.
You've pretty much like developed a community.
Mm-hmm.
You're on this page, like just new people to interact with, the smart people.
Cool people that I met a lot of cool people that like the same interests that I have.
Exactly, and that's how I feel with YouTube as well. I mean, how do you think I met Richard? YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And same with you, JJ. It's like look at this now.
We enjoy Resident Evil, yeah.
We enjoy Resident Evil, and there could be several more shows to come where we have you and maybe even somebody else on. I mean, it's just like it's just kind of like a snowball effect. And like I said, send me that link after the show, and I'll make sure I put it in the description.
Oh, for sure, man.
So everybody can check that out. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, I just feel like the community it's great and stuff like that, and I think that whether Capcom listens to it or not, as far as feedback, whatever, but I think for the most part everybody respects one another. But you always got the trolls that maybe they're not even Resident Evil fans, maybe they're just like fucking like they kind of played 4, and they just they love just like trolling or like they just love being.
Well, this guy was like hating on 4, 5, and 6, but then again,
there's
there's so many people that do that though. They're entitled to their own opinion. If they want to voice it, fine. I just choose if it kind of is trying to get me angry or anything like that. If I can tell they're trying to make me mad, I just don't listen to it. I mean, okay, you said your thing, and
I believe that everybody should be entitled to their own opinion as long as it's valid. You know, as long as it's
they could even have it if it's invalid. I just don't.
It's like, okay, you can hate like the new games, fine, like your old games, but don't hate on other people for liking the new games.
Yeah, exactly. Especially people that could have found the series because of that game.
Like 5 was like my first proper Resident Evil games. Like technically it was Umbrella Chronicles, but that's a light gun game. I really like Umbrella
Chronicles. That you can appreciate the older ones when the newer ones are, because a lot of people can't. A lot of people that play the newer ones just can't play the older ones. I appreciate
both. Like, I love both.
And if you love the new ones and you can't stand the old ones, that's fine. That's your opinion. I would love to have an argument or a discussion with somebody that didn't like the old ones and had valid points as to why they don't. Yeah, I would like to, but when somebody just hates on something for no reason at all and just can't back it up, there's no point of having a discussion.
Someone who would like actually be able to defend himself. Mm-hmm. And not just be like, well, I don't like the old ones because of camera angles.
Blind hate. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like I said, I try to expose it to as many people as possible. A lot of my friends I've showed the series to and stuff like that, and I backtrack. And my one friend, she started out with I think 5 or 6, and then I showed her all the way to the beginning, and again. She ended up appreciating the older ones way more, just because like she saw like the difference between some the story like arcs and all that stuff like that, and she's the same one who gets me Resident Evil shit. So it's like it just comes to show it's like it opens up a whole new thing of like people really can appreciate it if you just kind of like show it and present it to them in the proper way, and if you're not closed-minded and just kind of like a stubborn prick. You're gonna
ignorance.
Enjoy it.
I hate ignorance.
Yeah, dude, exactly. And some people honestly won't play old games at all just because they're old. Like, play Metal Gear Solid for PS1.
That's like
graphics.
I mean, for other people, like it's basically like saying, "Oh, I don't like the Godfather trilogy because it's old." Or, I mean, even if you don't like Godfather, like just take any movie that was really good that came out. Like, you can't just not like it because it was old. It's still a really good movie, but that's ignorance. So
I don't like any horror movies that was in the 70s. I don't like Exorcist because it came out in the 70s. I just don't like 70s.
I love The Exorcist.
I like Halloween. Halloween is too boring because it's old.
Halloween's too boring. I fucking hate the jeans in that movie. Oh my god. What's up with the porn
You know what that reminds me of? People like that say that they don't like movies. It reminds me of Capcom. They said we were old.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Metal Gear Solid fans can't be sneaky anymore. They're too old.
They need to go
Well, Call of Duty's popular, so, like, you can't sneak anymore when Call of Duty's popular.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Like, well, the Metal Gear Solid players are too old, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's another thing. That Capcom's got to stop with that shit. I mean, it's one thing if you can, like, say you're making 7 and stuff like that, but don't insult the fucking fans on the side that are paying for your game. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
They actually did a really good job of getting loyal fans. They're just kind of in a rut right now, so they're kind of just using anything as an excuse, even if it's at the cost of insulting their fans.
I think it's all, like, new people.
Appreciate what they've built up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were like, oh, watch out, because the Evil Within's coming out and shit. I'm just like, I don't know anything about this game, and I don't care.
I saw some gameplay, and the graphics look kind of but
that's okay. They don't need good
it looks
to have a good game.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. But like people, for a next gen game, it doesn't look next gen. It looks like
it's not.
It looks like a current gen game, and it looks it looks. I'm not saying that's that makes it bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it looks like it doesn't look as good as it can be. But I think, as a 360 game, it looks fine,
Yeah, I think any game that they're porting onto 360 and 1 or PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3, they're not next-gen. And they're going to look better, they're going to be clearer and have a little more particles, but if you want next-gen graphics, you're not going to see it for a few years yet.
No.
But I actually I'm excited for Evil Within. I know, Anthony, you say that there's a lot of publicity around it and there's too much hype. Yeah. And, that's true. There is. So I'm just excited to see how it goes because they're using a lot of stuff from what I'm seeing and reading that a lot of the older games used, like Silent Hill and Resident Evil. So I'm backing this game 100%. I want to see it just completely demolished in sales. I want to see people see that you can sell games without being Call of Duty or comparing yourself. Because no matter what, you're not going to make Call of Duty sales. It's not going to happen. Don't think you are. But I want to see it just take everybody away.
From what I saw,
completely.
From what I saw, it looked like a good game. I didn't see much, but I was like, okay, this could be good. It could be bad. It could be good. We'll see how it is. But a lot of the scare factors, like a lot of the things they use to scare you, they can be pretty, like I could see that being good or being.
They have the environment. They have the. From what I see,
they have the environment, the atmosphere. There's one scene in the video that I watched where like he's walking down the hallway and he sees like a massive amount of fucking blood and dead bodies, and then out of nowhere, like this fucking like this girl with like 6 arms comes out from the blood, just fucking like screaming her lungs out, and she chases you down and she fucking kills you. It's okay, that's what I like to see, like there's a part where you're hiding from a butcher and you're trying to get a key and you're trying to like walk around him and like, escape.
It's cool. Like I like what they're doing with it. I just think like once I play it is when I'll make my judgment. I'll probably, if it's coming out for 360, I'll probably just download it, to be honest, not pay for it and just see if it's worthy. And hey, if I like it, I'll pick it up on PS4, whatever. Like, if it's worth $60, then I might as well spend it on the next gen where, I play most, the majority of the games now, whatever's out. It's just like, I just don't like things that are, like, I don't like when things are hyped up, but I never hate a game because of hype.
I do think that, I actually think the hype is a good thing, because I think it's getting so much hype because so many people want that genre of game back. And I think that the hype is just so many people wanting, a good survival horror game. That's why it's getting so much attention. It's sort of like a message. See that.
Yeah,
hey, bring this back. We're sick of the first-person shooters. We want something different. And, it could be a shitty game, but people want that back. And that's why it's getting so much hype.
That's the thing, though. It's like, if it is a shitty game, all of that hype will just make people really, really disappointed.
Yeah, and we'll get a survival horror, like true survival horror games. We'll get fucked, but
but it's just another lesson for like don't get your hopes up if it is bad. If it's really good, then that'll raise expectations for like.
And hey, you
games.
know what?
It's like hype can be a mixed thing.
It comes out August, right?
I
think so. Yeah, that was the announced date. Well, hey, I mean, I guarantee you we'll bring it up on the show if we get a chance to play it. We can talk about the elements it has, maybe of Resident Evil, because that would still be related to Resident Evil in many ways, and and a lot of people always ask me about that on my channel and stuff like that. And I'm just like, like the hype's it's whatever. I mean, like I just try to stay away from that. But once the game comes out, I'm just gonna not look at reviews. Because I never ever, even if it's something that like I'm not that into, like Evil Within, like none of us are really into it yet because it's a new series that could happen. But something like Metal Gear, like I saw the reviews day one and I was just like, this just can't be right. Played it myself, they were not right at all.
I will look at reviews, but I won't let them affect my opinion.
I agree.
I don't think this is going to be a new series or anything. I'm pretty sure Shinji Megami said something about that after this he was done.
Well, like there could always be more people to just like take the title and.
They're going to ruin it. Just kidding. They could do a good job.
they could. Yeah, they could.
That's kind of what they did with Resident Evil. I mean, like in Resident Evil 2 wasn't directed by Shinji Mikami. It was directed by another guy, Devil May Cry guy, I believe.
Yeah,
but like each Resident Evil was directed by a different guy, except for like 4.
Resident Evil 4, it was supposed to be Devil May Cry, but it was so different that Shinji Megami said we need to make this its own side game, which thank God they did. Holy shit!
Oh
that
my god,
bad.
yeah, that would have been
Not
really
saying
bad.
Devil May Cry is bad, but it's not Resident Evil. That was horrible.
There's a lot of Resident Evil elements to it, but it's like the text is there and the green font, stuff, and the castle. But.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, at least there's new stuff going on, and I think that's the main thing at the end of the day, because it's not like Silent Hill where it's like kind of just dead. We're grateful. We're grateful to not be in that position.
I'm grateful Tom Hewlett didn't touch Resident Evil.
I'm grateful Tom Hewlett didn't get his dumb hands on the series, and that, like I said, there was the whole people blew it out of proportion that Kojima was gonna take over Silent Hill, but he said he would like to do something like Silent Hill, but that's not even official.
He's like, I would like to do it, and then people are like, oh my god, he's gonna make it.
He's doing it. It's like,
I was like, no, like that's like me saying, I would like to be a millionaire, but I'm not gonna be a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh my god, like he was a millionaire. But then here's the thing: it's like Silent Hill relies on atmosphere a lot, and you have to get the right people. It's kind of like with Resident Evil when they had the right people for that, right? And they would have to do the same thing with Silent Hill, but Silent Hill is just not even on the radar right now. And I don't hate Silent Hill, it's the comparisons are going to be made between this and Silent Hill, Resident Evil, but it's like I enjoyed Silent Hill 1, and I still need to play Silent Hill 2 completely.
Didn't they have one of the old ones? Because I played through them. I didn't play actually through them. I played one of them when I was a kid. Didn't one of them have a really good story where the dude was he actually killed his wife? And wasn't that 2 or was that one?
That was number 2.
That was 2.
That was 2.
That was really cool. That's an awesome story. I haven't played it, but I mean that just sounds really cool.
That's what I'm saying, and even though I know everything that happens, I still want to play it and experience it because it's apparently one of the best sequels of all. It's considered one of the best sequels of all time. Like you're thinking about we all talk about Resident Evil 2 and how that's regarded in the survival horror fan base as one of the best sequels. Silent Hill 2 is up there like that. It's up there as far as Terminator 2 movie status.
Silent Hill 2 is the fan favorite in Silent Hill.
I have no idea how I haven't played them yet. It's so.
That's what I'm saying. I want to find the original. I don't want to play the HD collection because apparently that's really.
I hear that's really bad. I do.
That's really bad. I changed the voice
acting. I found the black label for Silent Hill 2 on the PS2 for $20. I was like, okay, this is good.
Did you pick it up?
I picked it up. But I haven't played it yet. It's been sitting on my shelf.
I know, I have a ton of stuff.
It's been on my shelf since May, and I was like, I still need to get down to it.
You're fucking up, Richard.
You guys are going to get mad at me for this, but I bought all 3 Dead Spaces, and I haven't played through them yet.
Okay. You gotta fucking play Dead Space.
You have to play
Just go
Dead
fucking
Space.
Play the first game. At least.
Yeah, I have them. They're not going anywhere. I'm going to play them soon.
Dude, those are great games.
Yeah.
Great games.
Amazing games.
That's another thing. You want to talk about survival horror? The third one was still good, despite I didn't care about the reviews. One guy called me an idiot on my podcast, I think it was. He was like, "Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Dead Space 3 is not scary." And I'm just like, "Dude, I said there was a couple of cool jump scares that could still get you, and there's still a lot of chasing stuff that can still really build the tension. I wasn't saying, oh my god, it's spooky, and I'm fucking scared. I'm shitting my pants."
It's the newer Resident Evil. It's its own separate thing. I really think from what I hear, because I hear a lot. I'm a manager at GameStop, so I hear all different things about what people talk about. And from what I see is Dead Space 1 and 2 are more like Resident Evil 4. And Dead Space 3 is like Resident Evil 5. Shit ton of people are going to hate on it, but it's a good game.
Dude,
is that how it is? I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you right now that Dead Space 1 is probably I can't really compare 1 to any Resident Evil. 1 is it's really dreadful, it's got a very powerful atmosphere to it.
Very powerful.
And it does have a lot of action elements to it, but you don't notice the action because of the atmosphere.
Yeah, the creators were influenced by RE4.
By RE4. And Dead Space 2 does have a lot more action in it, but
it's still creepy.
They also added in a lot more story to it, and it was a lot of fun, and it was
we don't want to give anything away, but
Dead Space,
a lot of things build.
Dead Space 3, I would say, is a lot like Resident Evil 4 because it has a lot of action in it, and there's levels where it's this isn't fucking scary or creepy. But then you'll get levels where it's like, this is really creepy. Like,
yeah,
it's not scary.
They didn't have a T-Rex in it, did they?
No, they didn't.
No.
They did not.
Okay.
They failed on the dinosaur attempt. That did not happen.
So then I still kind of want to play it some more now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude.
Well, like,
dude
I brought up this example before, but like there's a level where you're walking through a room and there's like a bunch of like, golem type creatures, and they're very sensitive to sound, and they won't bother you if you don't walk by them.
Yeah.
Or if you don't make too much noise. And they make like these really like cool noises, and it's like, oh, like I really like that, and the music's creepy.
Oh yeah.
If you bother one of them, an entire swarm just fucking rushes you.
It's awesome.
And it's like, this is
intense, man.
like, this is creepy. Like, it's not scary, I'm not scared, whatever, but hey, I can tell that it's a creepy like segment of the game. But then you got
into the game.
Yeah, and then you got idiots that are being like, well, this fucking, you dumb for thinking it's scary. But that's not what we're saying. We're saying that it's not as action-packed as people are saying, because it does have those creepy moments to them. So, like,
it's great, man. You got to check them out, and definitely, like, let us know how, definitely, like, in the future shows, if you ever have you on, definitely explain how you fucking...
Maybe I'll play through them, and if you guys have another Resident Evil podcast, I'll give you my review on them.
Oh yeah, dude.
Sure.
Because we love hearing what people have to say about other good survival horror series, and Dead Space is definitely one that can be overlooked because it's popular and it's got a really big fan base, but it's not really like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not really like mainstream, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like everybody knows what it is.
It's like people probably hear the name Dead Space, but they don't play it.
Yeah, it's like you have to like really be involved with survival horror to know about it.
To appreciate it.
To appreciate it. That's the word.
I love their Dead Space 3 commercial. I heard it a million times at work. I thought it was hilarious how they had "I can feel it coming."
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, that's so cool, but I don't know if it is cool or if it's just like cheesy.
Oh, dude, it's actually really cool because, dude, like the first one and the intro you've probably seen before, but the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, that's creepy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's even better because.
Yeah.
Just all I gotta say is put in the first game and watch the opening cutscene. And all I'm gonna say is that
go on YouTube and type in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star Dead Space and just watch like the 2-minute trailer. It'll make you want to play the game.
Dead Space
Dead Space.
It's like it's the trailer / intro of the game. Like this, they use the intro clip as a trailer, like a promotional thing. And dude, like I got chills. I still get chills just watching that because like. It's
just
such
like
an eerie version of the song.
So fucking cool, though. It's like
it's fucking awesome.
I would fucking love to see
this. I don't remember because I remember when Dead Space 2 came out. I remember they had shit. What was that called? It's one of my favorite bands. Why the hell can't I think about it right now? Come on, give me a second. You guys talk while I think.
I know which. I remember the trailer. I know that song, but I don't remember the name either. It's
Smashing Pumpkins. They had Smashing Pumpkins on it.
Oh, they had Bullets with Butterfly Wings.
Yeah,
right?
And I remember the other one they had real reactions from older people.
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh my god, this game shouldn't be allowed."
It's like your mom hates this.com.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Smashing Pumpkins. They're fucking.
That was funny.
Yeah,
but I still don't remember
the
first.
The world is a vampire.
Yeah.
That was a cool fucking trailer, though.
Oh yeah, dude. They did a good job of promoting those games. Like, talk about newer survival horror. I mean, they did a good job, and that was before RE6. That was after RE5 came out, and so we didn't really get any survival horror games recently, because RE5 was a completely survival horror. So I think Dead Space. All I gotta say, dude. Play Dead Space, like, in the dark. I'd say turn up your TV pretty loud. I mean, it's one of those games where, like, it's an experience. You can have a lot of good times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had some friends over, and my buddy was playing it, and I was kind of in and out, and he's playing it, and all of a sudden I look over, because I was in the kitchen. I had my friends in the kitchen, and then in the living room it was completely dark, and he had the surround sound on and everything. And I just remember looking over at him, and he threw the controller down. And he's like, "I'm fucking done with this game. It's gonna give me a heart attack." It was like, "Is that bad? All right, cool."
You're just thinking to yourself, "I gotta play that game."
Yeah,
Like,
it was so funny. He's like, "It's just gonna give me a fucking heart attack. I'm done with it."
Yeah, like there was a part where like I legitimately screamed out loud at the game, and like I didn't. All I gotta say is that some of those enemies, dude, they're fast.
Watch out for the tall ones.
I just heard doo, doo, doo. I turn around, I'm just like, oh shit, and like I just get fucked up, and like the death scenes are so gruesome in that game.
Oh yeah, I watched all the death scenes on YouTube. I probably shouldn't have did that because I probably spoiled a lot of shit for myself. But
honestly, try to forget that as much as you can. If you don't remember much of it, good. But all like
so
all
that's what
is,
Resident Evil should do. You know, the new ones are censored.
Yeah.
Just fucking show them getting mutilated. It's fine.
Yeah, RE4 was the last one that was remotely close to like mutilation and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like getting shit chopped off.
6 though, didn't they? Was that the regenerator virus? No. I can't think. He threw you in a meat grinder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was close. Yeah, but even that was kind of like dumbed down a bit because like you don't really see it. Like there's some blood. But you don't like see the actual like you see it go in, but like that was probably the most violent death.
People have seen Leon die so many times, just kill him off in the next one. He's my favorite character, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At this point, I think it would be like a fit to have that actually happen. And the thing is about Dead Space, going back to Dead Space real quick, it's like the characters, like, at first, in the first game, they don't develop it, like, you don't think it's going to be as important, but, like, back then, if you were playing it for the first time, which I didn't play it, like, back then, I played 2, and then I went back and played 1 before the third one came out, but the thing is, like, at first, you're just like, well, these characters, like, do I even care about them, or even the Isaac character, but you come to, like, really... kind of like learn with Isaac and like feel like what he's going through. In
the first game, this isn't really a spoiler, but like he doesn't have any personality. He's basically you. Like he's not like
he doesn't talk.
He's not his own character. The characters that you're with, you don't like them because not that they're like badly developed. It's because they're so shady.
Yeah,
it's like
they're such assholes. Yeah.
Like they're like one of them is an asshole, and the other one is
assholes to each other. Like they hate. They just hate each other.
But did they take one character, stick with him, and develop him instead of going to like a million different characters?
Yeah,
which I don't know. That makes me sound kind of like a hypocrite because I love the first Resident Evil games, and they did use a lot of different characters. But I don't know. It'd be cool to focus on one for a trilogy.
In Dead Space 1, there's you, Isaac, who never speaks, and there's 2 other characters. Mm-hmm. Other than you 3, you're all alone and fucking
isolated.
Shit ton of fucking necromorphs is what they're called.
And fucking necromorphs.
Yeah, dude. I mean, definitely play that, and that would be cool to hear your experience.
Once you go into Dead Space 2, they give Isaac a character, and like they gave him a voice actor, and you really like him in Dead Space 2.
Yeah, because like they saw the success for Dead Space 1. I know what they were doing. They were kind of going with like an Evil Within thing, where it was like, this probably is just going to be like a one-time thing. Then they saw the success, and they were like, well, we can make this into like a series and give these... And you know what? It was good. It was like one of those things where like if you're riding off the success, you do better. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they did. They did not cheap out and just make it a cash cow. They were just like, you know what? Let's give Isaac a personality.
At least they stuck with a story. With Resident Evil, it seems like they wait for a game to come out and then they make the story. They should just kind of get this stuff in order before they make another one so that they can stick with one story instead of going all over the place.
Especially from 6 to 7, I think that's important.
Just make like an
I don't know how they're going to do that. If I had to give my, what I would want to see in Resident Evil 7, I would really like to see the music back. Like, just get that guy. I know that there was this thing with the guy that was doing the music. He didn't actually do it. There was another guy.
Didn't actually do it.
Get that other guy. Hire that other guy. Just be like, hey, we're going to give you a shit ton of money to make some good music like you did in the old ones, because I love that music. Bring that back.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Bring back
the soundtracks.
Dude, bring back like the save room themes.
I want that soundtrack. You have that. Send it to me, please.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
I tried to buy it, and it's all soloed everywhere, so I had to get it all through YouTube, and it took forever.
I got it on some torrent downloads, so I'll hook you up with them.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll message you on Skype about that.
This is a little random, but back to that George Trevor idea. You know how, because even in the 1960s, these umbrella scientists were still experimenting. That's how they created Lisa Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And that's how they killed the mother off. So it's like it would be a good opportunity for new enemies,
Yeah.
or like an earlier version of the T-virus.
Like some prototypes, yeah.
Yeah, prototypes.
Just have them walking through like a flashback to where they're walking through the lab and seeing what all this stuff was before it, came to what it was. That'd be awesome. Show them like
That'd be a treat to
genetically
the fans,
experimenting on animals. You can see like how
Yeah.
Hunter was a frog at one time or something.
Yeah,
Or
like
the
that.
liquor.
Like, people like us, like we would eat that up because like we love more origin stuff that we like.
You said eat that
find out. No pun intended. Yeah,
No pun.
But yeah, it was just kind of like it would be really cool to see shit like that. I mean, I would love to see them throw back some like cool old school stuff that we would really appreciate.
It's cool to see that, like, JJ, you're a GameStop manager. It's
Yeah.
like, you love Resident Evil. You're a good Resident Evil fan, but it's like when Anthony bought Resident Evil 6 during the midnight launch, one of the GameStop employees came out and he said, "People still like this game?"
Oh god.
It's like, you
don't
people
even
are still
start-
here?
I hear
Yeah.
stories, because I know a lot of the internet hates GameStop, and I know there's so many bad stories. And being a GameStop employee, I hear what other employees do at other stores, and it just gives us such a bad name. We're not all bad people like that. Like, there's some good guys that work at GameStop, and we're really not out to get you or be assholes or ignorant or anything like that. But
the ones by me are complete
I read this-
assholes.
There's
I read
so
this
many
comment.
people that just give such a bad name.
This guy tried to buy a PS4, right? And the guy at GameStop said, "You can't buy this PS4 unless you buy a PS Vita." So the guy went to Walmart, which was right next door. They had like 2 PS4s in stock, so he bought a PS4. Then when he went back to GameStop, he tapped on the window, showed them the PS4, and gave them the finger, and he
Oh
walked
my
out.
god!
Actually, to be
That's
honest
great.
with you, that employee totally deserved that. We hear stuff like, because our GameStop, the way we're run, my manager is awesome. He's the coolest manager I've ever had. He's such like a good manager and does things right that we're based off our customer experience, and we want to be as nice and helpful to people as possible. That's our job. That's what we get paid for. So I get all them stories that you were just telling me. I hear the same things from Walmart, which is right next door. And people come to us and they're like, yeah, they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. I'm like, well, thank you for coming here. I want to help you as much as possible.
Yeah, like you got the good ones, of course. Like that's the thing, and the ones by me are just dumb. Where they change like they get fired every other day, and it's just like they're always changing people and stuff like that. But I never go to GameStop because I was pirating games for the longest time.
Yeah.
And the first time I bought a game at GameStop, in a couple years, was Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, it was just because I didn't have money to afford this shit. I mean, I bought RE6 and Revelations I got from, I think, Newegg, and I did a lot of my stuff online. All the Resident Evil stuff I got online. So it's like I never paid attention. I kind of avoided GameStop anyway, just because with all the bullshit that came along with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, people do it. Like I said, we just get a bad name from shit employees.
Oh yeah. It's I'm sure there's good goings out there. I've had good conversations with some people in there. I think, but the one time when they told my mom when she was trying to get me a 360, they told her that the 4 gigabyte doesn't go online, so you're gonna have to get the 250 gig. And I was like, Are you fucking kidding me?
That would never last around.
Because I remember my mom.
District.
Yeah, my mom called me and she was like, "Is that true?" And I was like, "No, buy the 4 gig. Like we can't afford the 250 gig, so just buy the 4 gig. I'll buy a 320 gig for like $60, which I did, and I slapped it in there, and then I saved money too, and I didn't care.
You can actually take the old hard drives from the original, and there's a way you can actually get them to the new ones.
Yeah, you can unscrew the fats, and there's a laptop hard drive. You pop it out, and there you go. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. It's
well, I don't blame you if that happened to you at all, because that's the stories we get from the Walmart next door, and I just think they're idiots for telling people stuff like that. Exact same stories as what you're telling me now.
Yeah, I mean, their launches, midnight launches, even though I don't go to them anymore because, there's nothing been coming out. But they're really cool. They're organized most of the time, and when I went to the Gears 3 one, people were handing out Gears of War 3 cookies and shit, and that was cool.
I remember I waited in line for an hour on Boxing Day because I was in GameStop. I really wanted to get Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So I was like, okay, so Boxing Day is basically Black Friday over here. We also get Black Friday, but we get Boxing Day. And
Yeah.
I waited in line for a fucking hour, and the guy's like, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, nobody in this city plays this game anymore. And then he looks into his drawer, and he can't find the fucking game.
They're sold out.
They were sold out. I'm like,
Yeah, nobody
that
plays
game was
it, right?
on that fucking shelf.
Sure.
I waited in this line for an hour. He's like, yeah, we don't have this game.
You should have just been like,
You know-
so nobody plays it, huh?
Nobody plays this fucking game, huh? And he's like, do you still want the Microsoft points? I'm like, no, I don't want your fucking Microsoft points.
The way you're describing these people is they sound really like biased towards one thing, and if they don't like something, it seems like they're like, I don't know, how do I explain it? They seem
Or
really
they listen to reviews, you know?
yeah. No, I mean,
because
the employees you're describing, they just sound really ignorant. Like you know how you get that one diehard fan that just will
Yeah.
talk so much shit about something that they know nothing about.
Mhm.
That's just kind of the way you're making them sound. They sound really biased towards something.
Yeah, the day Raccoon City comes out, Operation Raccoon City, going to GameStop, guy's like, are you sure you want to buy that? And I'm just like, well, I'm here, ain't I? Like,
I'm
I'm
offering you my money to.
offering you $60 plus $5 tax in New Jersey.
A couple
Okay.
a couple weeks ago, I went to buy Dark Souls, the first one, because like Dark Souls 2 came out. I was like, I feel like playing the first game because I never got into this series before. So I bought Dark Souls 1, and like while I was buying it, the guy's like, so do you want to get the warranty for that? I'm like, no. He's like, are you sure? Yeah,
Did he
I'm pretty
pressure
sure.
You?
Yeah, it's like, if you buy the warranty, you can come back and like return it within a year. I'm like,
I said
but
I
the
don't want
game...
the fucking warranty.
I'm like, but the game works right now, doesn't it? He's like, oh yeah, the game works. I'm like, okay, good. I don't need your fucking warranty.
Yeah,
Because
it's like,
I take care of things I spend a lot of money on.
I have never purchased a warranty for any of my games. Why? Because I take care of them.
all three of us are collectors. I know we are. You know,
Oh, yeah,
in some
yeah.
way, shape, or form. So
That was my
we
favorite
take
thing
care of
about-
our shit. Exactly. I take pride in everything in my fucking house, like that I have, and you know, even my CDs. I'm just like, oh, I gotta make sure the CDs are good, like, because I love my physical copies. So.
Oh, me
you
too.
know, it's just like.
I'm so crazy about like not only keeping them in good condition but organizing them.
Yeah.
So it's like,
'cause what's the point of having a collection if it looks like shit?
Yeah, so it's like I'll organize them. I'm like for Blu-rays, for example, it's like I'm not sure if this alphabetical thing is doing it for me. Let me try genre.
That's what I do.
Let me try.
I do alphabetical.
Yeah, I do genre.
Assholes.
I think because I think it's cool for like because it resembles a video store. Because when I was
That's why
little,
I
I
like
used I used to rent VHS tapes all the time from the store, and it's like I like keeping all my genres together. It's like I got all my horror
You
movies
have a
together.
variety. I go into
Yeah.
my spare
Assholes.
room and it's like, all right, what do I want to rent today? Oh, it's just kidding, it's mine. I can play whatever the fuck I want. Let's
You guys
figure
are
out
assholes
what I
now.
feel like.
I'm gonna- You guys are assholes now. I'm going to be like crying and reorganizing my thing in genres now because I feel left out.
Dude,
I'm
trust
probably-
me, it's much better, man.
I'm probably gonna do it because I do have a nice I have a good like 70 something Blu-rays, so I think I should start doing that.
I keep all my like superhero movies together, and my action and my crime.
Because I got my DVDs, but I don't feel like rearranging them. But I probably should just for the sake that they're there.
I don't even like fucking use DVD anymore. I just like put.
Yeah, well, neither do I. But
They're
they're
all,
on my
like-
shelf, still being displayed. So
It's like DVDs just kind of like they feel so obsolete to me. It's like
I know I see them in the
To me
stores,
too,
and I'm
and they're
just
still
like,
I'm just-
fine, but I don't know. I have to buy Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
yeah,
is the
it's like
shit.
I gotta buy. The thing about Blu-ray though is that like it's amazing, but some movies are not on Blu-ray yet. Some movies probably never will be. It's like fucking Iron Giant. I love that movie, but
That
it's
was
not
a
on
good
Blu-ray.
fucking movie.
That was
Yeah,
great.
it's
Yeah.
fucking, it's really good. And it's like, I can't, like, that's one of the few movies that can probably, like, make me choke up. And it's
Go
like,
buy it on DVD. Just kidding. I know it sucks.
I
but
can,
sometimes
I can get it on DVD for $5, but it's like, why isn't this on,
Like Never Sleep Again was only on DVD, I think.
it's on Blu-ray now.
Now it is, but when
Yeah.
it first came out, it was only DVD.
For
and I
fucking
was like,
3 years.
If it's something I really like and I really appreciate, I'll pay the money. I don't care. It's Blu-ray is so much more expensive. I could go buy my entire collection on DVD for fucking cheap as shit. No, I'm gonna spend the extra money. I want that on Blu-ray.
It depends. It depends where you buy them though, because like where I go, it's like DVDs and Blu-rays are pretty much the same price. It's like I look at their Blu-rays, $10 each. Okay, that's a really good price. I go to the DVDs, $10.
Oh,
well, yeah. Okay, I might as well get the Blu-rays.
You guys gotta buy that stuff on Black Friday. That's when they have the best Blu-ray prices.
I got like Boondock Saints on Black Friday for like $3.
I got like
I love that movie.
A shit ton of like 2013 movies on Boxing Day 2013. So it's like all these $30 movies for like $10. It's like, oh yes.
I got Scream 4 for like $5. That was cool. Like
yeah.
It's a shame because I'm into exploitation films lately, and they're really fun to watch, and they're never on Blu-ray ever.
What exploitation films?
Like Grindhouse.
Grindhouse style 70s. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like, House by the Cemetery.
Don't go into the house.
Don't open the door.
Because the people living there aren't people
anymore.
That's a genre I really got to get into.
I love the fucking...
I've just been doing the whole mafia thing right now. Like not mafia, but just like crooked cops and I just watched The Heat. You guys ever watch Heat?
Oh yeah, I have that.
Holy shit, Grand Theft Auto 5, but it's an amazing movie. It's so good.
Yeah, it's 3 hours long. I mentioned it in my Blu-ray collection video. I bring up Heat. I'm like, okay, guys, if you have 3 hours to spare, watch this fucking movie because it's fucking amazing. Oh, it's so good.
But what were you saying about Grindhouse? I thought one of you were saying something about
Grindhouse. I was trying to say that I really fucking like. I'm excited for Thanksgiving to come out.
I hope that's made.
Eli Roth.
I hope it's made.
Apparently on IMDb, it says that Eli Roth is working on it for 2014.
Oh my god!
So it's like if that comes out, that is going to be so funny.
That is going to be so funny because JJ, did you ever see like the movie Grindhouse with Planetary and Death Proof? Like it's like in one package. Get that on Blu-ray. Get it.
The thing I was just going to say is I'm a huge movie guy. Like, this is my thing. And Grindhouse is just never one thing I fully understood or got into yet, and you guys are making me feel stupid, because I should know this.
No, dude. Seriously,
well, like, watch here's the thing about like Grindhouse.
Death Proof.
It's like, if someone who knows nothing about Grindhouse, they're going to be like, well, this is horrible, but that's the thing. They're meant to be horrible.
It's supposed to be bad. And
they're fun bad.
It turned me on to it. Like, I saw Grindhouse first, and watching it with the Blu-rays with the fake trailers, because they make fake trailers in the middle, and I wish I saw this back in 2007, because it would have been like a real experience seeing a double feature in theaters, but it's like 3.5 hours long with Planetary and Death Proof. Planetary is just a zombie film, and Death Proof is kind of like a slow rising, like a guy who killed Kurt Russell. He kills people in his cars, kills chicks in his car with his cars and shit.
He's like, remember when I said my car was death proof? You gotta be sitting in my seat.
Yeah, like, and dude, like, I love exploitation. Like, I saw Coffee, which is a blaxploitation film, which is pretty much exploiting, black people, which that's what it is. It's called blaxploitation, and that's pretty cool because the chick that was in there was in Jackie Brown, I think, which is what Quentin Tarantino did. Wasn't that one of his films?
Yeah. From the 90s.
Coffee, that chick, that was the main girl in there. I saw the Elza of the SS, it's like a Nazi exploitation film. I saw, which is, that's just kind of boring. It's the same thing. The Burning, which is a great Friday 13th ripoff, but it's a Grindhouse
slasher film. Grindhouse.
House by the Cemetery is because Lucio Fulci, he's an Italian, like, fucking gore guy. He fucking, in the trailer, you literally see a kid get stabbed in the back of his head through his mouth, like a little kid. Yeah. Just type in House by the Cemetery trailer.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, like, you're not allowed to show that, but dude, like, he's from Italy. He gave no fucks. But yeah, I mean, that's
people can get away with what they want. That actually gets you really good movies. That gets you exactly what people are thinking. You put all these restrictions and stuff on movies, and you just get a really watered down version. I want to see a kid get stabbed in the face for the movie.
In the movie Assault on Precinct 13 by John Carpenter, there's a scene where a gang member shoots a little girl point blank in the chest. No cuts, no nothing. She's like, because she goes to buy ice cream, right? And then the gang member shoots the ice cream truck driver, And when the little girl's like, hey, you gave me the wrong ice cream, and the guy's just like, bam! And he shoots the little girl in the chest, and like you see like this giant blood splotch, and the father is like down the road in his car, and the father runs up to her.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's great, and
it's awesome.
This is exploitation, but Assault on Precinct 13 really isn't really Grindhouse because it's a genuinely good movie.
Yeah, movies like Halloween and Jaws, they really brought up like underground things that were originally intended to be Grindhouse into the mainstream.
But
and,
Assault
like,
on Precinct on Precinct 13 is like crime exploitation, but it's not Grindhouse.
Here's the thing, JJ, definitely just look up Grindhouse trailers, like compilations. Like there's going to be ones like from the actual thing Grindhouse, like the film Grindhouse with Planetary and Death Proof. Those are the fake ones, which are Machete, Don't, Thanksgiving. And Machete was made into a real film. That was a fake trailer that they made into a real film. And then I watched Machete Kills, which is the sequel, and in the beginning they have a fake trailer for the third one they're going to make called Machete Kills in Space. And I'm like, this is...
And then like, they're going to make it.
They're going to make it. Like, and they make it like a Grindhouse. Like, you have the music playing in the beginning and shit. It's like
I love how they purposefully make it look bad as well with all the scratches and everything.
You gotta lower your expectations when you see movies like that, because if you have low expectations, you will enjoy them.
Exactly. Like, I watched The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which is off the Phantom Killer, a real life killer that was never caught, and that film was a really like kind of weird exploitation film, but it was like it added a lot of comedy that like wasn't needed, and it was just kind of awkward to watch. But I'm saying just watch trailer compilations that are out there. Like I said, JJ, I'll send you some of this on Skype because
I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Dude,
I get into all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be cool. And this is still a Resident Evil podcast, everybody.
I'll wrap it up. We're gonna get back to Resident Evil in a little bit here.
We'll wrap it up shortly because we're almost at 3 hours here. But
she
like,
gave her
it's
41 whacks with her axe.
The axe trailer, axe. And it's just like. There's one, like, the titles are so dumb. Like, Don't Open the Window, has nothing to do with Don't Open the Window. Like, it's not, they changed the name because it was, like, from another country, and, like, they just did it for marketing. And there was, like, an Exorcist ripoff called Beyond the Door, and in the trailer, you see the head spin, and I'm just like, this is such a ripoff, but they didn't even care. And there was an alien film, it's called It Came Without Warning, and they, like, throw these little, like, alien masks thing, kind of like rip off an alien, but it, like, sticks to your face and you become an alien. And I'm just like, these are fucking, like, dumb, but I love it. It's a cheese fest. And those movies are so hard to find on Blu-ray. You just can't, you can't. You either have to... There are a lot...
Scream Factory.
Yeah, Scream Factory does some of them.
Their Blu-rays are, like, $25 each. But they specialize in making cult movies, and they
actually did The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Yeah, they did The Town That Dreaded Sundown. They did Assault on Precinct 13 with the ice cream scene.
I still have to get their Blu-rays. I still have to.
I got 3 of them. I got
The Burning too.
They did The Burning. They did Funhouse.
The artwork is so fucking cool.
Yeah, like they give you like custom artwork, like artwork that they did, but then on the inside you can reverse it, so it's like the theatrical artwork that came with the movie when they were first released. And I got like Halloween 2 and 3. There's so many special features on them.
Yeah, and, dude, it's
like they actually like contact the original filmmakers just to make a new documentary.
I love that they do that. Like that alone like shows that like they're really trying to still keep these films alive.
Yeah,
through, like light. Yeah,
well,
it's cool, man.
Anthony, you actually make movies, don't you? You make videos on YouTube?
Yeah, I do.
I need that link too because I do the same thing. And,
oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll send you over some stuff. I've worked with zombies recently over the summer, my zombie film, so
that's cool.
I'll send you that link on Skype. Yeah, I'll send you stuff. I'll probably do it tomorrow because it's almost fucking 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I just know you were talking about it, and you got a new computer because of it, and that's really weird because I actually was saving up to get a computer for the same reason. I'm working on a laptop right now, and it's shit, and I can't do any After Effects and render.
That was me. Yeah, that was me before the end of the summer, dude. That was
same story here. I'm limited by what I have, and it's not. I could do so much more.
Oh yeah, dude. Trust me, it's worth it. And you're in a better position because you could probably save up faster than what I had to do. And you heard my story on Game Complainers, I'm sure.
Yes, that sounds like shit.
That was bad. Working at a fucking, oh my god. Go to Game Complainers if you want to hear that, guys, because I'm not explaining that here. But anyway, Resident Evil is still in the room, I guess.
Yes,
we took that way around.
We'll get right back on track.
I make movies too. At least I.
Richard makes.
I do.
Yeah, he does.
I haven't made one in a while, but I love writing movies. I've written
he's
my
in the middle of something
my
really
90-page
right
script. I wrote. I'm working on another feature. I made a few short films.
Awesome.
If you're
this
interested,
could be a whole new podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Richard's that guy.
Richard's that guy. Podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And Richard's that guy where we could see each other making each other's films one day or helping each other make shit. Because me and Richard are we shoot the shit all the time about if he has an idea or if he needs help with something or if I need help with something. It's like that.
The other day,
same thing.
I told him my current script idea, and we talked for 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours off 16 pages.
Yeah, I wrote 16 pages. I'm like, okay, Anthony, this is what I have so far. And fucking Anthony was going, he was really into it. And
I was
it's just
listening
cool.
to what he had to say, and he needed some advice on some stuff. And
I was like, okay, I have no idea. I have certain scenes in my mind, but I have no idea what to do with it.
Yeah, it gets complicated. You can have the vision in your head, and when you go to shoot, it's a completely different story. It just doesn't always work.
Sometimes you have to improvise.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
feedback. If you can have a really good idea, but when you start throwing ideas around with other people, it can be improved so much more than you thought.
And I'm surprised we're all into the same thing. That's crazy. And by the way, I make fake Grindhouse trailers on my film channel, just like I was telling you. I make my own, and they're so funny. It's great. I'll send you the channel.
Yes, that's actually why I wanted to ask you about it. You guys were talking about the Grindhouse films, and I know you make movies. I didn't know Richard did, but that made sense. That's why I wanted to bring it up. I love doing that stuff.
I met him through YouTube.
As much as I love video games, I'm much more of a movie guy.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to become a fucking writer and maybe even a director as well. So we'll see what happens.
And
I would
Anthony,
love that.
We're gonna get big.
Yeah,
let's get YouTube famous. Come on, it's not that hard. We just gotta have funny.
You gotta have some Scarecam LPs. We have to have Scarecam LPs first.
Yeah,
and then we plug our film channels in there.
What we need to do is make a Grindhouse movie that incorporates scare cams.
Oh, that would be so funny.
And
it would be.
Don't record the Let's Play.
Make it as cheesy as possible without trying to be funny. It's perfect. It's gold.
Yeah, that's fucking gold. But
wait.
Anyway, I think
all will be carved.
All will be carved. And then the machete through the trampoline. Oh my god. All right, anyway. That's that for this podcast. I think we said everything that needs to be said as far as Resident Evil.
Yeah, we got way off topic there.
We got way off topic, but pretty much 95% of the show was Resident Evil.
Oh no.
We talked.
I'd say 80%, maybe 75%.
Yeah, actually, we gave them 3 shows in one. 2 Resident Evil and 1 just random shit. So they should appreciate it.
We gave them Resident Evil and we gave them film. So
yeah. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed. This was an awesome episode 10. JJ, thanks for coming by, and it was fucking awesome. This is the funnest show I had in a while. So
no problem. I enjoyed being on this show. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's cool to have a fan such as yourself come in and speak opinions and stuff like that. And if you guys want to be on the show, just let us know. And we'll definitely have JJ back soon, hopefully. And definitely going to do more episodes soon. If any Resident Evil news breaks or we have some good topics to talk about. This show was really about pretty much Resident Evil's current state and what they could do with a remake or with 7. And it was cool to bring in an outsider as far as somebody we didn't even know all of his opinions on stuff. So it was really cool. And I hope you guys enjoyed, because these always do well. And this is episode 10 in the books, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.